दिक्कालाद्यनवच्छिन्नानन्तचिन्मात्रमूर्तये स्वानुभूत्येकमानाय नमः शान्ताय तेजसे सर्वेभ्यः नमो नमः। सर्वेभ्यः विश्वसंस्कृतदिनस्य रक्षाबन्धनस्य च शुभाशयाः। अद्य वयं षष्ठसंवादकार्यक्रमे सम्मिलिताः स्मः। अस्मिन् संवादे अस्माभिः सह विषयविशेषज्ञाः भवन्ति डॉक्टर प्रकाश एल हेगडे महोदयाः, अस्माकं विभागाध्यक्षाः डॉक्टर सविता बी पडशेट्टिवर्याः प्रार्थयामि अद्यतनविषयविशेषज्ञान् वेदिकां प्रति समानयन्तु इति। समाप्तिकामः मङ्गलम् आचरेतिति कल्पितश्रुतिः। अस्माकं सौभाग्यवशात् अस्मद्विद्यालयस्य विश्वावसु पुरोहित इति नाम्नः छात्रस्य भ्राता विभावसु पुरोहितः अस्माभिः सह अस्ति। विभावसु पुरोहित अग्निहोत्री कृष्णयजुर्वेदपण्डितः श्री संतमठ मूलमहासंस्थानं शक्तिपीठं नारायणपेट इत्यतः एते समागताः। तान् अहं प्रार्थयामि कार्यक्रमस्य निर्विघ्नपरिसमाप्त्यर्थं मङ्गलम् आचरन्तु इति।
श्रीमात्रे नमः। सभायै नमः। ओम श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम मेधादेवी जुषमाणा न आगाद्विश्वाची भद्रा सुमनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहद्वदेम विदथे सुवीराः। त्वया जुष्टऋषिर्भवति देवि त्वया ब्रह्मा गतश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्वद्रविणो न मेधे मेधां म इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विना बुभावा धत्तां पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु च या मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः दैवीं मेधा सरस्वती सा मां मेधा सुरभिर्जुषतागुस्वाहा आमां मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगति जगम्या ऊर्जस्वते पयसा पिन्वमाना सा मां मेधा सुप्रतीकाजुषन्तां मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि अग्निस्तेजो दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयीन्द्र इन्द्रियं दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो दधातु। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ।
मङ्गलम् आचरितवद्भ्यः श्रीमान् विभावसु पुरोहित अग्निहोत्रीवर्येभ्यः अस्माकं विद्यालयपक्षतः धन्यवादाः। सम्प्रति समागतान् सर्वान् वाग्भिः स्वागतं कुर्वन्तु इति अस्मद्विभागाध्यक्षाः डॉक्टर सविता बी पडशेट्टिवर्याः प्रार्थयामि।
A very good afternoon to one and all. Before we start today's event, I, Dr. Savita Padshetty, Professor and Head Department of Basic Principle, KLE Shri BM Kankanwadi Ayurvedic College, and as your host for today's, I would like to welcome each and everyone present over here for this special event, SAMVADA-6. I am extremely pleased to welcome our beloved Principal Sir and President of today's event, Dr. Suhas Kumar Shetty Sir, who is been motivating to conduct such events. I welcome you, sir. Secondly, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Prakash L. Hegde sir, an expert of today's SAMVADA-6, who in spite his busy schedule, who has accepted our invitation and joined this event. I welcome you, sir. It's our honor to have Dr. Vaidya M. Prasad sir with us, who will be addressing today's program as a keynote speaker. With his busy schedule, he has accepted our invitation and taken an initiation to give a keynote address online. Welcome you, sir. We are privileged to have with us Vaidya Jayant Pujari sir, Chairman, NCISM, New Delhi, who would be giving us opening remarks. I heartily welcome you, sir. I extend my warm welcome to Principals of Participating Institute, Dr. Sajit M., Alvaz Ayurvedic Medical College, Mudbidre, and Dr. Anura P. Bale, Madam, Gomantak Ayurvedic Mahavidyalaya Research Center, Goa, for accepting our invitation for taking part in this event. I wholeheartedly welcome both of the college principals, sir. My heartfelt welcome to all the mentors of participating institutes, Dr. Ravi Prasad Hegde, sir, and Dr. Anuradha M., and all the PG scholars of participating this event. Wholeheartedly welcome all of you. Last but not the least, I welcome all the teaching, non-teaching staff, PG scholars, UG students, those all are participating this event to make this event a grand success. At the last, I would like to welcome all the viewers who have been watching this Samvada online. Thank you one and all.
स्वागतं व्याहृतवद्भ्यः सविता पडशेट्टिवर्याभ्यः अपि स्वागतम्। आयुर्वेद भारतीयचिकित्साप्रणाल्याः राष्ट्रीय आयोगस्य सहयोगेन पुनश्च संस्कृतसंवर्धनप्रतिष्ठानस्य च सहयोगेन अस्माभिः आयोजिते अस्मिन् संवादकार्यक्रमे उपक्रमकथनं वक्तुं अस्माभिः सह अन्तर्जालमाध्यमेन विद्वांसः समागताः सन्ति। ततः पूर्वम् अद्यतनसंवादकार्यक्रमस्य अध्यक्षवर्यान् अस्माकं विद्यालयस्य प्राचार्यान् प्रार्थयामि संवादस्य कार्यक्रमस्य अग्रे चालनार्थम् अनुमतिं प्रददतु इति।
आरभ्यतां संवादः।
धन्यवादः। अन्तर्जालमाध्यमेन भारतीयचिकित्साप्रणाल्याः राष्ट्रीय आयोगस्य प्रधानाः डॉक्टर जयंत देव पूजारी महोदयाः अस्माभिः सह सम्मिलिताः सन्ति। एते नागपुरस्थ आयुर्वेदविद्यालये स्नातकपदवीम् अवाप्य स्वर्णपदकेन विद्यावारिधिम् अर्थात् PhD पदवीम् अपि प्राप्तवन्तः। सम्प्रति भारतीयचिकित्साप्रणाल्याः राष्ट्रीय आयोगस्य प्रधान अध्यक्षाः इमे अस्माभिः सह अन्तर्जालमाध्यमेन सम्मिलिताः। तान् अहं प्रार्थयामि उपक्रमकथनं कथित्वा संवादस्य आरम्भं कुर्वन्तु इति। डॉक्टर जयंत देव पूजारी महोदयाः।
Namaskar to everybody. Just for the sake of the information for the comparer, that I always prefer to prefix Vaidya, not as a doctor. And even on my board out of my office, it is written Vaidya Jayanta Dev Pujari. So I request you to pronounce my name with the prefix Vaidya. Thank you. So welcome you all for this gathering and this event. I must congratulate the KLE Ayurveda College for organizing this event frequently. I think I am joining for this event for the third time, and this Vada Marga Sambhasha is really, you can say, a fantastic thing to develop our many cognitive functions. It is not only debate on which we are going to talk. When we debate on anything with preparation, it gives us not only immense pleasure, but we are here to hear from our colleagues. They are not actually the opposition groups, regarding the different opinions on the same subject. This today's subject is is Aushadha Sevan Kala relevant in present clinical practice or not? And there will be a debate. But I want to bring to your notice, I am not talking for or opposite of this subject, but just for the sake of the information of the student, lot of research is going on regarding Aushadhi Sevan Kala of allopathic drug for cancer patients. So that work is already going on. If you have time, whenever you have time, please search on the internet regarding this information, and you will get very interesting things regarding the subject which you are going to discuss. Aushadha Sevan Kala is very important, and different Aushadha Sevan Kalas are described by the different authors in Ayurvedic texts. The question is of relevance, whether it is possible to use all the 16 or 18 Aushadha Sevan Kalas in today's clinical practice, whether it is possible in OPD level or on IPD level or on consultation or whatever the case may be. Basically, when we talk about Kala, we talk about a thing which never stops. Kalam na liyeti iti Kala, that is what the definition of the Kala in Ayurveda. So when we talk about Aushadha Sevan Kala, it is related to dosha, and dosha are again related to the time of the day, and it is again associated with our daily routine and circadian cycle and so many things. So here there is, I think, no discussion on, there will not be any discussion on the need of the Aushadha Sevan Kala, but the discussion will be on the relevance. So when we will discuss on the relevance, we must be aware about the patterns of the practice. Because this is regarding, it is written that it is for the clinical practice. So there are different clinical practices prevalent in Ayurveda and in other branch of medical sciences, and how it is applicable to Ayurvedic practice, how it is relevant to that, any modifications are required. Like these things, I think it will come during the discussion, and I hope that there will be informed opinion storming. I don't call it as a brainstorming, because brainstorming needs a lot of study by all the groups, and we have an opinion, not the text or with our experience, and we will open regarding that, and with the help of your mentors also. And I hope that this exercise will be a great cognitive exercise for the students who are participating as a participant and those who are listening to this. Again, we have a very good teachers or practitioners who are who are connected to the practice at ground level, and they are going to share their opinion. They are going to give a keynote address to this audience. So again, it will be, you can say, a feast for all of us as a thought. So I once again congratulate to the organizers, and this time I am seeing the different groups. One is from Delhi, the other one is from Goa, and third one is again from the Karnataka only. So if we can add the more groups from the different parts of the country, then all students will get benefit of this. And I think this type of activity should continue with the preparation. With the preparation means not only preparation from our text, but its relevance from the other medical systems and what is going on, how the things are changing, and so many things are there. So once again, I congratulate you all for the participation, And I congratulate to the organizers for organizing such a fantastic Vada Marga Sambhashana. Namaskar, Dhanyavad.
अन्यथा पदप्रयोगेण क्षन्तव्यः अहम् अद्यतन उपक्रमकथनं कथितवद्भ्यः वैद्य जयन्तदेवपूजारी महोदयेभ्यः अस्माकं विद्यालयपक्षतः हार्दं धन्यवादाः। सम्प्रति अन्ये विदुषः आयुर्वेदक्षेत्रीयाः अस्माभिः सह विद्यन्ते। वैद्य प्रसाद एम महोदयाः एते विदुषः केरलस्य मूलनिवासिनः 27 वर्षाणां चिकित्सानुभवं वहन्ति। एते आयुर्वेदमहाविद्यालय तिरुवनन्तपुरम् इत्यत्र आयुर्वेदम् अधीत्य तदनन्तरम् आचार्य वैद्यभूषण के राघवन् तिरुमलपदानाम् अधीने 21 वर्षाणि यावत् आयुर्वेदस्य दर्शनं मौलिकसिद्धान्ताञ्च अधीतवन्तः। अनन्तरं 6+200तमे वर्षे केरलस्य त्रिशूलमण्डलस्य एकस्मिन् दूरस्थे ग्रामे सुनेत्री इति नाम्ना आयुर्वेदाश्रमं शोधकेन्द्रञ्च आरब्धवन्तः। एते 20-20-सहस्रवर्षपर्यन्तं नियमितरूपेण आयुर्वेदशिक्षकाः आसन्। अनन्तरं 5 वर्षाणि यावत् आयुर्वेदमहाविद्यालयस्य प्राचार्यरूपेण प्रमुखाः अपि आसन्। अनन्तरं स्वस्य नैदनिकसेवानाम् अतिरिक्तं सम्प्रति एते आयुष् मन्त्रालयस्य अन्तर्गतं राष्ट्रीय आयुर्वेदविद्यापीठस्य अनौपचारिक शैक्षणिककार्यक्रमस्य गुरुरूपेण अपि सेवां कुर्वन्तः सन्ति। 2000-2002तमे वर्षे आटिस्टिक् बालकानां परिचर्यार्थं कार्यं कुर्वन्तः इमे ऑटिज्म स्पेक्ट्रम विकारस्य आयुर्वेदप्रबन्धार्थं सुप्रा सुनेत्री प्रोटोकॉल फॉर ऑटिज्म इति आयुर्वेद प्रोटोकॉल वर्धने कार्यं कुर्वन्तः सन्ति। एतेन सह एते अनेक व्याख्यानानि युववैद्यानां प्रशिक्षणं लेखनरचनं रेडियो भाषणं संगीतचिकित्सा एवं सर्वविधानां पुस्तकानि पाठयन्ति रचयन्ति। एते महान्तः इदानीम् अस्माभिः सह अन्तर्जालमाध्यमेन सम्मिलिताः सन्ति। तान् अहं प्रार्थयामि अद्यतन औपचारिककथनं कथित्वा संवादस्य शोभां वर्धयन्तु इति। वैद्य प्रसाद एम महोदयाः।
Namaste. My pranams to the chairman of National Commission of Indian System of Medicine, Adaraniya Vaidya Jayant Dev Pujari ji, then Vaidya Suhas Shetty ji, the principal of KLE Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, and the entire team of teachers of the Department of Basic Principles of KLE Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya. And I express my happiness for being invited to be a part of this program, SAMVADA-6, organized by the Department of Basic Principles. And I understand this is the 6th edition of Samvada, and I'm really looking forward with a lot of positive expectations from this program, because we need to intensify the efforts, all sorts of efforts to revisit, reinvent, and reinstate the Ayurvedic methodology of teaching and learning. We had a methodology where Ayurveda used to be taught in the original Ayurvedic premises. We have to retain it. At present, the situation is entirely different. And I'm quite hopeful to know that NCISM, under the able leadership of Vaidya Dev Pujari ji, has initiated some efforts to start with a 7-year module of undergraduate course. Actually, the present way is not the one in which Ayurveda is supposed to be learned or taught. I definitely look forward to see that this Samvada will open up some new dialogues to reinvent the Ayurvedic methodology of intellectual discourses, and I congratulate all those work behind that. Acharya Sushruta beautifully explains the classical style of teaching the Shastra. It is a type of Guru Mukha style of learning. Shishyaya Yathashakti Guru Rubadished Padam Padam Shlokam Va. So there was a method. Teja Pada Pada Shloka Bhuya Kramena Anusandheyaha Evam Ekaikashaha Ghadayed Atmana cha Anupadhed Adrutam Avilampitam Avisankitam Ananunasikam Suvyaktaksharam Apidida Varnam Akshibhruvaushtahastairanaabhinitam Susamskridam Na Atyuchaihi Na Adinijaischa Swaraihi Pathed. So that was the classical methodology. In any case, we have to reinvent our own methodology of learning Shastra and propagating Shastra. And there was such a deep and personalized way of learning. We should understand the importance of in-depth learning of the Shastra. It should no more be a child's play. The 4 pillars for the advancement of any Shastra, there are 4 pillars: Adhidi, Bodha, Acharana, and Pracharana. That is why we find in Upanishads, Swadhyaya Pravajanabhyam Ma Pramadidavyam. So we have to reinvent the resonating message behind these Upanishads and Shastric verses. And coming to the special topic of today's Samvada, that is Aushadha Sevana Kala, is a reflection of the so-called customized or personalized medicine, moreover a precision medicine. Aushadha Sevana Kala gives precisions to the application. It can be based on the dosha predominance, the strength of the patient who is getting the treatment, the avastha of the vyadhi, then the kala. All these things will be taken into consideration while we go for Aushadha Sevana Kala. Apart from the broad spectrum of a wide list of Aushadha Sevana Kalas, we can find some minor versions which give more precision to the application. Say, for example, in Snehapana Vidhi, we find Hyastane Jirna Evanne Snehocha Suddhaye Bahu. So that Jirna Eva Anne is actually an Aushadha Sevana Kala, which is going to make the whole set of difference between the other 2 types of Snehapana and Ulklesna Snehapana. This makes a world of difference. And it is where the entire event is spinning. Similarly, when you look for Shramana Snehapana, Shramana Kshudvato Anannaha. So that Kshudvataha is to be underlined multiple times. So Jirna Eva Anne and Kshudvataha may not be identified properly, but there is that is the $1 million point in it actually. So in the same way, we find many other nuances in this Aushadha Sevana Kala, which is going to be the key of Ayurveda being explained as a precision medicine. So I'm looking forward to find that this Samvada, whatever intellectual exercise it is designed for, at the end of the day, come out with the high chronicling of the concept of Aushadha Sevana Kala and a proper documentation of whatever is emerging from this debate. So once again, I congratulate the brains behind this sort of programs, and I congratulate both the winners and the losers of the game, because it is not for winning or losing, but it is for a common cause of upbringing Ayurveda to a larger platform. My best wishes to the program, my best wishes to the organizers. Thank you very much once again for inviting me to be a part of this program. Thank you. Jai Ayurveda. Thank you.
औपचारिककथनं कथितवद्भ्यः वैद्य एम प्रसाद महोदयेभ्यः अस्माकं विद्यालयपक्षतः धन्यवादाः। वस्तुतः अस्मिन् कार्यक्रमे भारतीयशिक्षणप्रणाल्याः राष्ट्रीय आयोगस्य आयुर्वेदशाखायाः अध्यक्षाः डॉक्टर BS प्रसादवर्याः तेषाम् उपस्थितिः अपेक्षितमासीत्, परन्तु कार्यान्तरे व्यस्ताः ते अद्य उपस्थातुं न शक्तवन्तः। तेषां प्रतीक्षायामेव वयं संवादस्य कार्यक्रमस्य अग्रे चालनं कुर्मः। पुनश्च संस्कृतसंवर्धनप्रतिष्ठानतः प्रधानाः श्रीमान् लक्ष्मीनरसिंहमहोदयाः अपि तेषाम् उपस्थितिः अपि अपेक्षितः आसीत्। ते अपि कार्यान्तरे निमग्नाः इत्यतः कार्यक्रमं तेषां प्रतीक्षायामेव अग्रे चालयामः। सम्प्रति षष्ठसंवादकार्यक्रमस्य विषयविशेषज्ञाः के भवेयुः इति चेत् अस्माकं दृष्टिपथम् आयाताः डॉक्टर प्रकाश एल हेगड़े महोदयाः। एते सम्प्रति PCIM&H फार्मियोकोपिया कमीशन फॉर इंडियन मेडिसिन एंड होमियोपति एतस्य अध्यक्षाः सन्ति। पुनः आयुर्वेद सिद्ध एवं यूनानी औषधितन्त्रे शिष्टसभायाः सदस्याः सन्ति। एते राजस्थान आयुर्वेद विश्वविद्यालयं जोधपुरः इत्यतः PhD पदवीम् अवाप्य पुनश्च शैक्षणिकक्षेत्रे अर्थात् अध्ययनकाले अपि एते महान्तः विदुषः मैसूरु विश्वविद्यालये उन्नतस्थानम् अवाप्य पुनश्च द्रव्यगुणविभागे अत्युत्तम अंकान् प्राप्य स्वर्णपदकम् अपि अवाप्नुः। एवमेव 12+200 वर्षे एतेषां योगदानं दृष्टिपथे निधाय श्रेष्ठशिक्षकः आयुर्गुरु इति पुरस्कारम् अपि प्राप्तवन्तः। पुनश्च द्रव्यगुणविज्ञानं प्रथम द्वितीय एवं तृतीयखण्डम् इति पुस्तकम् अपि प्रकाशितवन्तः। न केवलं भारते विदेशे अपि 50 अधिकेषु राष्ट्रीय अन्ताराष्ट्रीय सम्मेलनेषु उपन्यासं प्रदत्तवन्तः। पुनश्च शताधिकेषु सम्मेलनेषु भागं गृहीत्वा स्वज्ञानं प्रसारितवन्तः। एते विदुषः अस्माभिः सह विद्यन्ते इति अस्माकं सौभाग्यमेव। अतः तान् अहं प्रार्थयामि अद्यतन संवादकार्यक्रमस्य विषयस्य उद्घोषणं कुर्वन्तु इति।
I would like to announce today's debate topic is Aushadha Sevana Kala relevant in present clinical practice. Thank you.
धन्यवादाः। साम्प्रतिक चिकित्सा पद्धतौ औषधसेवनकालस्य अपेक्षा अथवा प्रस्तुतः अस्ति न वा इति विषयः। अत्र विषयस्य उपरि वादप्रतिवादं कर्तुम् अस्माभिः सह स्थापना प्रतिष्ठापना एवं वितण्डवादिसदस्याः अस्माभिः सह सन्ति। आदौ स्थापना सदस्याः स्वपरिचयं कारयन्तु। आदौ भवतां नाम पुनः विभागस्य नाम वदन्तु। स्थापना सदस्याः।
Myself, Dr. Abhishek. I'm second year PG scholar from Department of Shalakyatantra from Alwas Ayurvedic Medical College.
Myself, Dr. Vikrant Udita, second year PG scholar from the Department of Kaya Chikitsa.
Myself, Dr. Kshama Jain, second year PG scholar from the Department of Dravyaguna Vijnana, Alwas Ayurveda Medical College.
Myself, Dr. Ashmita, first year PG scholar from the Department of Dravyaguna Vijnana.
Myself, Dr. Karthik P, first year PG scholar from the Department of RSBK, Alwas Ayurveda Medical College.
एवं स्थापना समूहे आಳ್वास् आयुर्वेद महाविद्यालयतः वादिनः समुपागताः। तेभ्यः हार्दं स्वागतं। सम्प्रति प्रतिष्ठापना सदस्याः।
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Saubhagyalakshmi B, final year PG scholar from Department of Agatantra, Kahir Shri BM Kankanwadi Ayurved Mahavidyalaya, Belgavi.
Namaste everyone. Myself Dr. Kiran Basavaraj Gangir from the Department of Rasayana evam Vajikarna, Kahir Shri BM Kankanwadi Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Belgavi. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Myself, Dr. Dharti, second year PG scholar from the Department of Rasayana evam Vajikarna from Kahir Shri BMK Ayurved Mahavidyalaya.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Arpisha from Department of Shastrata and Yoga, Kahesh CBM Kankanwadi Ayurved Mahavidyalaya.
Namaste. Myself Dr. Krishnam from the Department of Rasyastra and Bhaishyajalpana, second year PG scholar from Sri BM Kankanwadi Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Belgaum.
एवं प्रतिष्ठापना सदस्याः अस्माकं विद्यालयतः एव सन्ति प्रतिवादिनः। अग्रे वितण्डवादी सदस्याः।
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Anuradha Patil from Gomantak Ayurved Mahavidyalaya, Shiroda, first year PG scholar, Kaya Chikitsa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Swapnil Mahin, GMNRC, Shiroda, Goa, Kaya Chikitsa Department, first year.
Namo Namaha. Vaidya Saurabh Vase, second year, Rasashastra Vaishajya Kalpana Department, Goa College.
Namo Namaha. Dr. Rashmina Amonkar, final year PG student from Rasashastra and Bhaishajya Kalpana Department, Gomantak Ayurved Mahavidyalaya, Goa.
Myself, Dr. Kritika Chandra Sazare from Gomantak Ayurved Mahavidyalaya and Research Center, second year PG scholar from Department of Rasashastra and Vaishajya Kalpana.
वितण्डवादी सदस्याः गोमन्तक आयुर्वेद महाविद्यालयतः समागताः प्रतिवादिनः तेभ्यः अपि स्वागतम्। अत्र स्थापना सदस्येभ्यः मार्गदर्शकाः सन्ति डॉक्टर रविप्रसाद हेगडे महोदयाः। प्रतिष्ठापना सदस्येभ्यः मार्गदर्शकाः डॉक्टर प्रवीण एनबीडी एवं डॉक्टर चैत्रा महोदयाः एवं वितण्डवादी सदस्येभ्यः मार्गदर्शकाः सन्ति डॉक्टर अनुराधा मुदलियार महोदयाः। एतेभ्यः मार्गदर्शकेभ्यः अपि हार्दं स्वागतम्। इदानीं बहुनिरीक्षितः संवादकार्यक्रमः आरभ्यते। तदर्थं संवादनियन्त्रकान् अस्माकं विभागस्य प्राध्यापकान् डॉक्टर प्रभाकर हेगडे वर्यान् प्रार्थयामि संवादस्य आरम्भं कुर्वन्तु इति।
धन्यवादः प्रशांत महोदय। सर्वेभ्यः संस्कृतदिवसस्य हार्दं शुभाशयाः। Now we'll start the debate. The title is announced by the subject experts. Now for this first round, Pratham Vartula, and this is going to be debated by Sthapana members. And for this, I request IT teams to display their PPT for the first round, that is Prathama Vartula. Now, this first round is going to be dealt with the Pancha Vakyas, that is Pratijna, Hetu, Udharana, Upanaya and Nigamana. For this, I invite Sthapana Group, Alwas Ayurveda Medical College for the first round. Over to Sthapana Group.
A very good afternoon to all gathered here. We, Team Sthapana from Alwas Ayurveda Medical College, here to propose a position on the topic, is Aushadha Sevana Kala relevant in the present clinical practice? To begin with, Pratijna, आद्यतन चिकित्सा पद्धतौ औषध सेवन कालस्य प्राधान्यता. औषध सेवन काला is relevant in the present clinical practice. Moving on to the hetu, Ayurveda चिकित्सायां औषध सेवन काला एव प्रधान भूमिका. औषध सेवन काला is the fundamental framework of Ayurvedic treatment modality. Second hetu is चिकित्सा सार्थके औषध कालस्य ज्ञानम् अत्यंत अनिवार्यम्. For the success of treatment, the knowledge of Aushadha Sevana Kala is essential. Anadihi Anantaha Ayurveda, Ataha Ayurvedasya Upadeshaha Api Sarvakalika. Ayurveda being an eternal science, even its principles are eternal. Moving on to the Drishtanta, Matra Kalasha Yuktihi Siddhir Yukto Pratishtita Tishtityupar Yuktidno Dravya Jnanavatam Sada. Tan Doshalingairadisha Vyadin Sadhyanupacharit Vyadi Hetu Pratidvandvai Matra Kalo Vicharayan. Itevam Shadvidam Kalam Anaveksha Bishakjitam Pratyuktam Ahitaya Syad Sasyasya Akala Varshavat Kalo hi Baishajya Prayoga Paryaptim Abhinivartayati. Moving on to the Upanaya, Kalashra Yuktihi. Therapeutic aptness or the rational therapy depends on the kala of the administration of the medicine. Kalo Vicharayan, a Vaidya should treat the diseases by administering the Aushadha after the proper consideration of the time of administration. Kalam anaveksha bishakjitam. The Vaidya who doesn't follow the time of administration of medicines will not be able to treat the diseases properly. Sasyasya akala varshavat. As unseasonal rain damages the crop, the same way the medicines given at the wrong time damages the health of a patient. Kalo hi Vaishajya Prayoga. The time determines the sufficiency of the administration of the therapy. I would like to quote a research work on Kafajakasa, where a clinical trial was conducted between the two groups, where a first group was given Nagaradi Yoga in the Adobhakta Kala, and a group B was administered Nagaradi Yoga in the Grasantara Kala. It was observed in this study that Grasantara Bhishaja Kala should statistically better result in Kafajakasa Vyadi than Adobhakta Kala. Charakacharya has quoted, Vayo Prani Pradushte Grasa Grasantara Rishyate. That is, Pranavata Pradushti is one of the indication for Grasantara Aushadha Sevana Kala. Kasa, being a Pranavata Pradushti Vikara, Grasantara Bheshija Kala is an apt Bhaishajya Sevana Kala in case of Kasa. Moving on to Nigamana, Nahi Atipatita Kalam, Aprapta Kalam, Beshajam, Upayujyamanam, Yogikam Bhavati. That is, the medicine administered after or before the opportune time is not effective. Thus, we would like to conclude Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant in the present clinical practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Sthapna Group from Alwas Ayurveda Medical College for putting forth your statement that Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant with Hetu and multiple Drishtanta and Upanaya, and standing for the statement for Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant for present clinical practice. Now moving on to the Pratisthapna Group, they will put forth the statement Aushadha Sevana Kala is not relevant in present clinical practice. For this, I would like to call upon the leaders of this Pratisthapna group over to Pratisthapna for your Prathama Vartula, that is through Pratijna Hetu Udharana and Nigaman. What is your stand? Please.
Good afternoon, all. We, the members of Pratishtapana group, are here to put forth our Panchavya Vakya. So the first one is Pratigna. Ayurveda Aushadha Sevana Kalaha Sampratika Chikitsa Prayoge Prastutaha Nasti. That is, Aushadha Sevana Kala is not relevant in present day clinical practice. Hetu will be Samsaktatvat. That is, which means dependent. Multiple factors are to be considered according to the Ayurveda, which are difficult to incorporate in the present area. Second hetu is Adunika Paddadatehe Prachalitatvat. Tendency to follow the current trend or the way of things hinders the practice of Aushadhi Sevana Kala in clinical practice.
Coming to Drishtanta, Patam Vina Chitram, that is a painting without a canvas, Sasyam Vina Phalam, that is a fruit without a plant, Pita Bhumim Vina Graham, that is a house without a foundation. Our second Drishtanta is Yata Adunika Kale Yata Yate Lokayana Vyonadikam Prasiddham. That is, in the modern era, the convenient modes of transports are buses and aeroplanes. In the same way, we need to adopt according to the present era.
Now, coming to Upanaya, Yatha Padam Vina Chitram Nasti, Sasyam Vina Phalam Nasti, Pitha Bhumim Vina Griham Nasti, Tatha Ayurvedasya Anya Siddhandam Vina Sampratika Chikitsa Prayoge Saphalyam Nasti.
As there cannot be an effective painting without a canvas or wall, as a fruit cannot be born without a plant, a house without a strong foundation is fragile. Likewise, incorporating Aushadhi Sevana Kala without giving a heed to other principles of Ayurveda is not relevant in present era.
Continue.
यथा आधुनिकपद्धतौ यातायाते लोकयान व्योमयानादिकं प्रसिद्धं तथा औषधसेवनकालम् आधुनिकपद्धते प्रचलितत्वात्. As in the present days, the convenient and preferred modes of transport are buses, aeroplane, etc. Likewise, due to the convenience and easier administration, the Aushadhi Sevana Kala is adopted from the present trend. Adopted from present.
So निगमन is अथा आयुर्वेद औषध सेवन कालः सांप्रतिक चिकित्सा प्रयोग प्रस्तुत नास्ति. Hence औषध सेवन कालः is not relevant in present day clinical practice. Thank you.
Thank you, KL Shri BMK Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya PG scholars for putting forth your statement against Sthapana through your Pratisthapana group that Aushadha Sevana Kala is not relevant in present clinical practice. They have shown through different hetus, multiple hetus and Udaharana and Upanaya. So the Pratijna stands against the Sthapana. Now moving on to the Vitandavadins group. What is your opening remarks on the statement which is put forth by Sthapana and Pratisthapana? Over to Vitandavadins in the first round.
धन्यवाद सर. सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः. Aushadha is itself potent, which can produce results irrespective of Aushadha Sevana Kala also. Whereas Aushadha, which is taken in its Aushadha Kal, also shows results which are noticeable. Hence, kim kartavyam, kim akartavyam, kavayo api atra mohitaha, tasmat, ubhe api mate, grahye va, अग्राह्ये वा इति संशयः भवति. तत् संशय निरासार्थम् अन्वेषणम् आवश्यकं वा शोधनम् अवश्यमेव करणीयम्. किमर्थमिति उक्तश्चेत् उभे अपि मते न सर्वत्र ग्राह्या त्याज्या वा. तस्मात् एकपक्षाश्रयेणयं संशयकरं भवति. Hence, we Vitandavadis neither stand with Sthapana nor with the Pratisthapana.
I would like to thank Goa Ayurveda Medical College, Goa, Gomantaka Ayurveda Medical College, Goa, being Vitandavadins putting forth their statement. From the beginning only they are raising a samshaya, that is doubt, which is explained as one of the Vadamarga in Charaka Vimana. So they are raising doubt, neither they are accepting nor rejecting in the initial round. And it is very difficult to consider from both the groups, Sthapana and Pratisthapana. Neither they are rejecting, but it needs a detailed justification how to consider or reject one among these Sthapana and Pratisthapana is the stand from Vitandavadins. For this, the detailed debate is necessary, is the stand from Vitandavadins. So with this initial stand of Vitandavadins, let us move to the second round, that is a detailed justification round, Dvitiya Vartula. So for this Dvitiya Vartula, Sthapana will have a time of 10 minutes, and after that we'll have a bell, then alarm bell, so that you will be warned to stop within next 5 minutes. So I would like to request the Sthapana members to start their second round, where the justification of the title be given. Over to Sthapana members. How Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant in present clinical practice?
Okay, so to begin with, I would like to attempt for the exploration of the term Kala for the better understanding of the Aushadha Sevana Kala. So Kala is definitely not restricted to one particular notion. Kala being one of the Navakarana Dravya is responsible for the formation of the Karana Dravya. So, and this has a wider understanding and the meaning. To justify Kala in this context, Kala we have divided it strategically and classified into two different forms, that is Nityaka Kala and Avastika Kala. So Nityaka states that Kala is eternal, but for the convenient utilization it into the domain of the human biological cycle, it is been further divided in as well. The statement from the Shushrut Sutra Sthana, 6th chapter, 4th shloka states that Tasya Samvatsara Atmano Bhagwan Adityo Gati Visheshena Akshinimesha Kashta Kala Muhurta Ahoratra Paksha Masa Rutu Ayana Samvatsara Yoga Pravibhaga Karoti. It is obvious that why such classification is needed to this context. Like anyone can get such questions. What is the purpose of it and how to utilize it? Well, That's the point of our discussion we are here to present with. So moving on from the Nitya Kala classification, I go on to explain the Avastik Kala too, which is being further divided into two, that is Shad Avekshana Kala and Beshaja Kala, where Shad Avekshana Kala is further divided into Dina, Rogi, Vyadi, Jiranalinga, Rutu, and Beshaja. Though Kala has the wider understanding, this diversity of the dimension of the Kala in the context of Chikitsa has to be looked through the framework of the Dashavidha Kala itself. Despite the terminology of a Dashavidha Sevana Kala is not mentioned anywhere in the Ayurvedic text, the scientific understanding of the Beshaja Kala stands sufficient in its purview.
To begin with, let us look into the 10 Beshaja Kala mentioned by our acharyas and their present clinical usage. First is Nirana, that is Abhakta is administration of Aushadha in early morning, that is Vanyama after Suryodaya. In Abhakta Kala, Agni and Aushadha interaction is unobstructed because of absence of food, and Agni will be in Pradipta Avastha. It is advised in Kapha Udreka Roga, Rasayanartha, in Balavan Roga and Rogi Avastha, and for Lekanartha purpose. Acharya specifies that in this Kala, Virechana can be given for Pitta Udreka and Vamana for Kapha Udreka. For example, Ichabedi Rasa and Trivrit Leha for Virechana purpose, Kanchanara Gugulu in Galaganda Roga, Paniya Rasayana for Vayasthapana, Madhudaka in Staulya. Moving on to the next one, Pragbhakta is administration of Aushadha just prior to a meal. Thus, it is the first target of Agni. In this Kala, the Beshaja will undergo Shigra Vipaka and does not cause Balahani. It strengthens the Adakaya and does Amashaya Gata Dosha Nirharana. This Kala is advised mainly for Apanavata vitiation. So, in case of Mutravaha, Malavaha and Chukravaha Sroto Vikara, this Kala can be adopted. Examples are Shweta Parpati in Mutra Kratra, Pushyanuga Churna in Pradara, Kalyanaka Grata and Shatpala Grata in Vishamajvara. In Madhya Bhakta, first half of the food is to be consumed, followed by Aushadha, then the rest of the food is taken. That is, administration of Aushadha in the middle of the meal. So, the Aushadha can't spread. That is, because of Avarodha of Aushadha by Ahara and Avisari Bhava of Aushadha, it is forced to act locally and eradicate the Sthanika dosha. As Samanavayu and Pachaka Pitta are in Koshta, this type of Kala helps to control Paitika and Koshtagata Vyadhis. All Pitta will function normally if Pachaka Pitta is corrected. Examples, Avipattikara Churna in Amla Pitta, Datri Loha in Shula Roga, Yavagu mixed with Grata in Grahani, Trifala Modaka in Udara Roga. Next, moving on to Adobhakta. Adobhakta is use of drug after the meal. In Vyana Vikriti, Aushadha administered after Prata Bhojana and in Udana Vikriti after Sayam Bhojana. This method is useful for Urdhvakaye Balam Dadati, Urdhvakaya Vikara, Kapha Prashamana and Stuli Karana purpose. Example, Ushmanda Avaleha in Raktapitta, Rasnagrata in Raja Yakshma, Trifala Modaka in Urdhvakaya Vikaras. Next, moving on to Antarbhakta, the Aushadhi is given in between two meals, that is, after the digestion of food, Aushadhi is given, then after complete digestion of Aushadhi, next meal is given. Antarbhakta Kala is two. First one is during day, and next one is one yama after evening food. This Kala is advised for Radhya, Manobalakara, Deepana action, and for Vyanavata Vikara. Example, Shilachatu Prayoga in Prameha.
Moving on, next is Sabhakta Aushadha Sevana Kala, where Aushadha is either mixed with the cooked food or it is mixed along with the cooking of the food. For example, in the Ashtanga Sangrahakara, in Brahmana Sneha, he says Rasamadhyadhyahi Sabhakto Alpaha, that is, Snehana should be taken along with the food. Other examples in Sabhakta Aushadha Sevana Kala, Lavana Bhaskara Churna is mainly used for Aruchi. Talisadi Churna is used for Kafaja Arochaka. Next, coming to the Muhurmuhu Aushadha Sevana Kala, where mainly it is indicated in emergency conditions like Trut, Chardi, Kasa, Shwasa, Agara. For example, Hingvashtaka Churna is indicated in Agnimandya. Sutashekara Rasa is indicated in Pitta Jakasa. Draksharishta indicated in Udavarta. Lakshmi Vilasa Rasa is indicated in Santada Jwara. Sanjeevani Vati is indicated in Visuchika. And Laksha Mishrana is indicated in Urdhvagata Raktapitta. Moving on to the Grasantara. As per Charaka, he says, Vayo Prano Pradushte Grasa Grasantarishyate. So when it comes to Grasa, Ashtanga Hridayakara says Prathama Kavala Bhojya in context of Vataja Gulma, where Hingvashtaka Churna is mixed with Gruta and the first morsel of the food, and it is taken in the first morsel. Then other indications are Vajikarana. Ashtanga Sangrahakara, Tikakara, Indukara explains Vajikaranaya, where Grasa Aushadha Sevana Kala is used. For example, Narasimha Rasayana is used in male infertility or clybia. Next, coming to Grasantara. Grasantara, mainly Prana Pradushta is indicated, where many the dosage forms are Leha, Churna and Vataka is used along with the Prana Pradishta, as it is directly fitted to the Rudya or Rudroga. Prabhakaravati is also indicated in between the Grasa. Next, coming to Samudga. Samudga means the Aushadha is taken before and after the consumption of food. In Samudga, one of the example given by Ashtanga Hridayakara is Apidaka Gruta, which is indicated in Mutra Purusha Vata Vegadharana. Along with that, other examples that we see is like Pravala Panchamrita is indicated in Pittaja Gulma. Then one more example is Lashanadivati is given along with Gruta before and after food in Amashayagata Vata. Coming to the other indication of Samudga, as stated by Acharya Charaka, is Samudgam Hikine Deyam. So even in Hika conditions, mainly Mayura Picha Basma or Mayura Picha Masi is indicated. Along with Hika, combined Akshepaka is also indicated in Samudga, because both in a combined Akshepaka, both Panipada, lower and upper limbs are involved. So before food, which is mainly due to Apanakala, it will treat the lower limbs. And after the food, where morely Udanakala is indicated, it will take care of the Ura and Urdhvakaya. Coming to Nishi, Nishi Aushadha Sevana Kala was first explained by Ashtanga Sangrahakara, where mainly Urdhvachatru Vikaras are told, because beginning of the Nishi, mainly Kapha Prakopa will be there. Hence, some of the examples is Dhumanasya in Kafajakasa, and also Anjana, for example, Elanir Colombo is also explained in the Nishikala. Along with that, Sarpagandha Vati before food at night is given, Tagara tablets, and Haritiki Churna in Swapnakala for Anulomana is also administered.
Adding on to it, I like to recollect Aushadha Sevana Kala practiced in Panchakarma. According to Charaka, Sarpi Shardi Patavyam Vasa Majjacha Madave Tailam Pravruti Natyushna Shiti Sneyam Pibennaraha. Sarpipana is followed during Sharadrutu, Tailam in Pravrut, and Vasa Majja during Madhava, that is on January and Feb. Vamana Virechanam is followed like Atainam Vamitam Bhuya, Sneham Svedopa Paditam, Shleshma Kale Gate Jnatam, Kostam Samyak Virechitam. Vamana Virechana performed during Shleshma Kala, that is during daytime. Basti, Niruva Basti, Pachame Ata, Tritiye Va Divase Sadake Shubhe, Madhyane Kinchit Avrute, Prayukte Balimangale. Niruva Basti is followed during afternoon before Angar, whereas Uttara Basti, Trinam Artava Kaleto, Yonir Guyayat Avarte, means in Stri, the Uttara Basti is followed during Artava Kala. Example, Shatavari and Murchitatila is applied, is given in Clybia. In general, Nasya Prayoga, during Purvanakala, given in Shleshma Rogi, Madhyane Pitta Roginam, Aparane in Vata Rogi. Anutaila Nasya is performed in Pravs, Sharat, Vasat Rutu, to mitigate Netra, Karna, and Nasaroga. In relation to Panchakarma, Charaka has quoted in Apamarga Tandulya Adhyaya that na anyupastita doshanam sneyam svedopapadane panchakarmani kurvati madrakale vicharayan. On the basis of dosha depicted, proper panchakarma modality to be carried off with preferred matra and kala.
I would like to throw a light on Aushadha Sevana Kala in a different perspective. In the Prakaradi Varga of Arogya Raksha Kalpadruma, author has mentioned various combinations of the drugs which have immunomodulatory actions at a specific age or as per vaya, such as first month, third month, the first year, or third year, sixth year. For example, in the first month, he has advised the churna of Musta Hingu Vidanga along with Grita is given internally for the first 7 days. In the third month, he has explained the churn of Yosha and Sariva along with Navanita for 7 days. These are practiced even to this day down south in Kerala. Talking about Kala in terms of days, in Sutika Paricharya, Vatahara Kashayas have been advised from the second day. Kshira Yavagu along with Vidaryadi Ganadravyas are advised from the third day of postpartum. In relation to Pumsavana Samskara, Vatankura processed with the Dadi is administered on the day of Pushya Nakshatra in the third month after the conception. The significance of Vaishajya Kala can also be seen in the ethnomedical practices observed over the different parts of the country. For example, Artikasha, which is practiced over the coastal Karnataka area, where the kashaya prepared from the bark of Saptaparna, that is Alstonia scolaris, is consumed on the new moon day of the Ashada month of Hindu calendar in the early morning at empty stomach, which is believed to boost the immunity in the body against the illness. Another ethnomedical practice observed in the Malnad region of Kerala is Kadali Phala is impregnated with the Pipalyadi Churna and administered on the Mrigashira Nakshatra day in the Abhuktavastha in the condition of Tamakashwasa. These are the few examples to quote the importance or the relevance of the Vaishajya Kala even in the ethnomedical practices. Talking about the contemporary science, the branch of modern pharmacology, which is in parallel with the principles of Aushadha Sevana Kala, is chronopharmacology, a branch which is concerned with the variation in the pharmacological actions of the drug with relation to the over the biological timings is a chronopharmacology. The main objectives of chronopharmacology are to reduce the excessive use of the drug and to facilitate the time-dependent drug delivery. The diurnal change in the drug bioavailability has already been established for many drugs. To quote an example, theophylline has, in the research has proved that theophylline has a different pharmacokinetic activities in the morning when compared to evening. Chronopharmacology, which is an emerging discipline of the modern pharmacology, the principles of which dates back to the ages of our acharyas.
Taking on from her, I would like to mention that while explaining the importance of the Aushadha Sevan Kala, Chakrapani states that Yatha Sasya Kala Varshena Pida Maranam Va Bhavati. If we don't follow the Aushadha Sevana Kala, there would be Pida Maranam. Tad Aushadam Api Shadavida Kala Anaveksham Upayuktam Kleshaya Vinashaya Bhavati. So for proper attainment of the Swastha and for the Klesha Vinasha, the consideration of the Shadavida Avekshana Kala as well as Aushadha Sevana Kala is necessary. And even in the Kannada, there is a famous saying which goes like, Gadige tappidare, gudege nashaha, which translates to, when medicine is administered in the wrong time, it is of no use. Indeed, this administration of the Aushadha along with the consideration with time plays a pivotal role in the therapeutics and the good prognostic outcome of the disease. Hereby, we with the concluding remark from the team of the Sthapna states evidently that Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant in the present clinical practice.
Thank you, Sthapana Group, for putting forth your statements through detailed justifications. And also, you try to take the examples of ethnomedical practices in your justifications and detailed references of Sushruta as well as Charaka's quotations. And at the end, you take the reference of Chakrapani's, how he supports the Aushadha Sevana Kala. So with this, the detailed justification, we move on to the Pratishtapna group. How you feel that Aushadha Sevana Kala is not relevant. What are your detailed justifications? How you put forth your substantiation for the statement what you have put forth in the initial round? Over to Pratisthapna Group.
As now we are elaborately discussing about Aushadha Sevana Kala, it would be very relevant if spoken about the Shad Avekshana Kala. So Shad Avekshana Kala includes Dina, Rogi, Aushadha, Vyadhi, Jirna, Linga, Rutu, and etc. So when we go through the Rogi, Aushadha Sevana Kala is determined by the Bala of the Rogi. But are we effectively assessing the Rogi Bala as effectively as explained by the Shastra? The second point includes Vyadhi. That is, usually in the day-to-day clinical practices, Avastika Chikitsa of Vyadhi is adopted. So is there appropriate evaluation of Avastika Chikitsa, Avastha of the Vyadhi in each and every OPD patients and and at each and every practitioner? And the third point is Jirna Linga. The Kshud, Mala Sarjana, Vega Agamana, etc. are mostly the subjective entity in our clinical practices. Would Aushadha Sevana equally effective if administered according to Aushadha Sevana Kala, irrespective of the Jirna Linga or as per told by the patient? So with the continuation of this point, I would like to put forth few contemporary concepts to support our point. So the first concept would be the concept of chronobiology. So it is a branch of biology that deals with the biological rhythms, that is the time-related phenomena in living organisms. It includes circadian rhythm, diurnal rhythm, ultradian and infradian rhythms. So the main focus of this chronobiology is on the sleep-wake cycle, daily rhythms in body temperature, cognitive performances and responses. So depending on the contemporary era, there is an disruption of the biological clock in humans due to various reasons like work pattern, jet lags during continuous traveling, etc., old age, mutations and variations in the genes involving the biological clock. So coming to the another contemporary concept explained, that is chronopharmacology. So it is a science concerned with the variation in the pharmacological actions of various drugs over biological timings of the body and endogenous periodicities. So when we go through this chronopharmacology, it stresses over the point of food effects. That is, diurnal variations occur from the amount of the food taken. Gastric emptying of the drug depends on the food taken along with it. So consumption of heavy food with medicine or consumption of medicine after a heavy meal lowers the absorption and slows transportation of that food, the mixture of the food and drug to liver for metabolism, hence decreasing the bioavailability of the drugs. So if we look into the concept of food-drug interactions, food intake leads to various changes of the physiological conditions in the GI, which can affect the pharmacokinetic profile of the drug by changing its release, absorption, distribution, metabolism, or excretion. So when we look into the present day food practices or Ahara Sevana Vidhi or Ahara Matra, we can try to correlate that the Aushadha Sevana Kala can actually cannot be considered as relevant depending on the dietary habits of the individual.
So before we go on to topic proper, let's just have a bit of background. So in Janapada Dvamsaniya Adhyaya, Chakrapani says, like, as the yugas pass on, there is a swapramana kshaya of the ayu. And hence, as the yuga passes, there is kshaya of the balas. Now, Charaka, just before explaining Aushadhi Sevana Kala, he has given 2 lines quotation, which is very important. So the quotation goes as, Yogya Vekshu Yata Pratar Niranno Balavan Pibet Beshajam Lagupatya Anyair Yuktaha Durbalaihi. So what does this mean is, if you want to give Pratar Niranna, you need to go only in cases of, or you should give the Aushadha in cases of a Balavan Vyakti or a Rogi. So by this, what we understand is, like, there is a scope for flexibility and modification, and hence this can be adopted according to the present era. Now, as our Sthapana team quoted, like, if Aushadhi Sevana Kala is not followed, then there will be Pida Marana. Now, I would like to say, my friend, in case of if the Rogi is not Balavan, if Bala is low, and if you're going for Tikshna Aushadhi and in Pratar Niranna, then obviously there would be pida marana of that particular patient. So it all depends on what is the condition of the patient and what you want to achieve given in the context of the time. One more point is like, let us understand what is the prakriti of ahara and aushadhi dravyas. So in the quotation, it is given that ahar aushadha dravyanam swabhaviko gurvadi guna yogaha. So this means that swabhavataha, the ahara dravyas or the aushadhi dravyas, so irrespective of the samskaras, they have guna, karma, virya, vipaka, by which they act and they produce a therapeutic effect. Now, when we talk about kala, it falls under samskara, one of the samskaras, which Charaka has quoted in Vimanasthana. So what is kala or the karana samskara? What we are doing by the kala samskara is swabhavikanam dravyanam abhi samskaraha. So here we are just enhancing the therapeutic effect of a particular medicine. We are not inducing a therapeutic effect, but we are just adding on to the therapeutic effect of a particular medicine. In the present era, when there are so many constraints, whether it is worth an effort to follow all these 11 samskaras or even the kala samskaras, or are there better alternatives and adaptations for the same? So hence I would like to quote that a smart investment is one which has or which takes the least effort and gives the maximum benefits, and not the one which gives a few added groundnuts with an investment of cashews. Yeah.
Now we see the
Hold the mic close to.
Now we see the word Ausat Sevan Kala. Ausat Sevan Kala has many prayas like Aushad Kala, Bhaishaj Kala, Bhaishaj Grahan Kala, Aushad Avcharan Kala, and Aushad Vikshan Kala. In the commentary, Aushad Grahan Kala is explained by the Acharya Sharangdhara. In the commentary, Acharya Adyamala says Aushad Grahan Kala is nothing but Aushad Bhakshan Kala. So why I'm saying this? Because our Sthapana team quoted some example from the Panchkarma, where Basti, Nasya, and all the things are they included. But according to Adyamala, Aushad Sevan Kala or Bhaishaj Grahan Kala is only related to the Aushad Bhakshan Kala. One other example, I want to quote it from the Ashtanga Hridaya, where Hemadri does the tika of Aushad Sevan Kala. He says, Saman Aushad Shaman Aushad Kala means this Aushad Sevan Kala is only for the Shamana Aushad, not Shodhana. Now moving forward, the word Aushad Sevan Kala can be translated into the time of administration of the medicine. It's a loosely translation. So if we analyze all these kalas, means all Aushad kalas, this all 10, 11 or 5 Aushad kalas are mostly connected to the aharas or Anna kala. Generally these two, generally in the Samhita kala, only two Anna kala was there, Prata Bhojana and Saya Bhojana. As we know, ahara is one of the upastambha, which is important for the sustainment of the body. But we are following the ahara instruction given by the acharyas? Are we following dvikala bhojana? Are we following? Are we eating food after assessing the jirna lakshana, or are we following ashan pravacharanas? In this fast-moving world, we don't have time to sit and think about Jirna Lakshanas and eat after this Jirna Lakshana achieved. Also, after the European invasion, we adopt their way of eating. Then we include in our diet breakfast, afternoon tea, evening snacks, and other things, which are maybe good for their geographical location, but not for us. Now coming to other Upastamba, that is Nidra. Acharya mentioned Ratri is only for the Shayana. But in this modern world, students, working peoples, night duty peoples are doing the Ratri Jagrana, which affect their sleep and wake cycles. That leads to Tridosha imbalance. In this, if a person wake up at night and sleep in daytime, that that ultimately affect their eating pattern. Then how this actually that we see earlier, Aushat Sevan Kala is dependent on the Anna Kala. Then how we are saying this in this present day, in modern day, this Aushat Sevan Kala is relevant in clinical practice. Thank you.
Please continue. We have only 5 minutes left.
In current clinical practice, when a patient approves comes with a mentality that for every symptom he should have a separate medication, and his mentality will be like that it should be palatable to him and it should be time feasible for him to take those medicine. So even now the pharmaceutical companies have come up with the different dosage forms like kashaya to kashaya ghanavati, or like Ghruta or Thylas in the form of soft gel capsules, suspensions, etc. So there is a practice of this different dosage forms also. And we also see the modification in treatment, like in Sadhya Virechana or Sadhya Vamana, where especially in Virechana, where the medications are given at the night, so that in the morning he will have 2-3 Vegas or something, and then after that he can go and attend his routine work or something. Like it will be given according to the patient, like it should not hamper his or their routine work. With these modified techniques and medicines which are prescribed to patient, even when they are not following any healthy regimen, like dinacharya or rutucharya, they are not following anything. Even after not following anything, when we are giving the aushadas to them, there is a effect or there is a reduction in the symptoms. So when Aushadha Sevana Kala can be modified according to the need of our also. As Ashtangar Hudayakara also quotes that Yugana Rupena Sandarbham Vibhagena Karishyate, means according to the Yuga, we can change according to the Yuga's lifestyle or practice, we can change the Aushadha Sevana Kala or any other treatment modalities also.
So before explaining the Aushadha Sevanakala, one have to give medicine to the patient. So before giving medicine, one have to see Sukshma Samekshesham Dosha Aushadha Nirupane, which is mentioned in Ashtanga Hridaya. So it is told Dushyam Desham Balam Kalam Manlam Pragatim Vaya Sattvam Satmyam Tadhaharam. So without seeing that, one cannot give medicine to the patient. At the present era or present clinical practice, nobody is having time to take this much history or dushyam, that and everything. So we are adopting modern methods to to make time feasible. So by going that way, everything has changed from that Samhita period to present era. The kala changed, ahara changed. Ahara we used to eat at 2 times. Now it changed to 3, 4, even 5 also. And nidra also changed. If the patient is having night duties, what about their ahara kala? Their breakfast will become our dinner. Their dinner will become our breakfast. So everything is changed. So if we want to follow Aushadha Sevanakala, then we have to follow other Siddhanta of Ayurveda, like Dinacharya, Ritucharya, and whatever they told, in that we have to follow. If we are not following that, we are practicing as integrated, then we don't have to follow Aushadha Sevanakala. If we are following integrated medicine, then Aushadha Sevanakala is not relevant. If we want to, now we are following Aushadha Sevanakala, then we have to follow other Siddhanta which is told by Ayurveda. But nowadays it's not possible. So still it stays as irrelevant. Thank you.
Thank you, Prathisthapana Group. So they are straightly and very strongly saying that Aushadha Sevana Kala is not relevant, and more importantly, they are sticking to the Aushadha Sevana Kala, which are much relevant to the practice of Shamana Aushadhis, which are quoted by Adamala by using the word Bhakshana rather than the other administration of Vamana Virechana, etc., which are the other routes of administration of medicine. So with this, we complete the second round, that is Sthapana and Pratisthapana, which where the both groups put forth a detailed justification on the topic. Now moving on to the Pariprashna, that is our Jidnyasa. So Jidnyasa round, which is connecting round to the second round. Now for this, the most important group is Vitandavadi, and Vitandavadi will start asking the questions, the prior doubts or the doubts which are instantly raised during the justification from the Sthapana and Pratisthapana group, over to Vitandavadins to ask the question against Sthapana. What all different doubts comes to your mind when Sthapana start to explain their title on the Aushadha Sevana Kala, which is relevant for the present clinical practice? What are your jidnyasas? Please, over to Vitandavadis.
Dhanyavad Mahoday. Namaskar. I have a question that when we say Aushadh is of three types, right? Daivavapashray, Yuktivapashray, and Satvavajay. In our clinical practice, we are talking only about the Yuktivapashray Chikitsa and the Aushadha Sevana Kala. What about the Satvavajay Chikitsa and the other one, the Daivavapashray Chikitsa? No call for that. Are we not supposed to include it in our clinical practice? Why are we debating only about the relevance of the Yuktivapashray Chikitsa mostly?
Why only sticking to the Yukti Vyapashraya Chikitsa, where the administration of medicine comes most of the time? Well, in fact, there are other modes of treatment also told in the Ayurveda, in the Trisreshani Adhyaya of Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana. So she is telling about what about Daiva Vyapashraya Chikitsa and Satvavajay Chikitsa? They are also modes of treatment. They are also modes of Aushadha. Is the question from Vitandavadins. The first question, straight to Sthapana.
Like, definitely the chikitsa is of Daiva Vyapashraya, Yukti Vyapashraya, and Sattva Vajaya itself. For the chikitsa to happen, like even in Daiva Vyapashraya, for Bali, there is specific kala is mentioned. For Mani, Dharana, there is specific kala is mentioned. For Dravyabhut or Adravyabhut chikitsa, all for that purpose kala has been mentioned. So it's not only sticking to the Yukti Vyapashraya chikitsa, it is definitely for the Daiva Vyapashraya chikitsa. But coming to the point of why only Yukti Vyapashraya has been focused, because in the present clinical practice, nobody goes to the doctor for the mantra ucharana or mani dharana or something or that else. So we are focusing on that purpose itself, not for the other purpose.
But in Jwara Chikitsa, there is Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra or other stotras. Rudra Stotra is also mentioned. In Arka Prakash, there is Shitalashtak.
Be louder, be louder.
In Arka Prakash also there is Shitalashtak. So are we not supposed to follow the Aptavachana for the Chikitsa?
Also, while practicing.
No, one time, one question. Clear your question first.
Confirming only.
Okay.
While practicing Vaman or etc., there first mention about Swasti Vachana or any Mangala Ucharana, as we did here also. So, is it essential to be done on that specific kal only, or we can alter the kal also? Yes, Mangala Charan can be done thrice, as said in Sushruta Samhita. Ekam Shastram Adhiyanaha na Vidyat Shastra Nishchayaha. Tasma, if we want to focus only on Ayurveda, we need to also focus on other contemporary Shastras, which are other than modern medicine. As there was focus on modern medicine, other than modern medicine, there are also other Shastras. Then, for that, Mangalacharan is said thrice also. So, before that, or during the procedure, or after the procedure. So, is the kal most relevant?
If necessarily the change, alteration is in the administration of medicine, the time of medicine, That can be done, he is saying, and same is in the form of question.
Definitely, that is in the domain of the yukti of a physician. However, he want to modulate it, he can modulate it. But definitely, there is been research been carried out on the Vamana specific, that on specific nakshatra, there is a Laingika Lakshanas, the Laingika features were observed more prominently, nicely in compared to the Vamana done in the different kala or different nakshatra. Definitely, there might be something role that we need to explore. That will go on for the exploration purpose. That is, we cannot give it very evidently right now, but definitely that is a point of research.
So this point needs to be evaluated.
Yeah, definitely.
So it is not relevant yet.
What?
Is that kal relevant?
Yeah, it is relevant. Kala is relevant. That is why Matra Kala Vicharayan, whenever for any of the Samshodhana process, Matra and Kala both are necessary to be considered.
Matra kalau vicharayan. So when we talk about the matra, okay, today we are not following the matra that is given in the text itself. For example, the matra of the churna is 1 karsha, that is 12 grams. We are not administering it at one point of time. So we have modified it. So if we have modified the matra, why not kal? Why only one part?
Okay, the question is very simple. The present practitioners modified in the prescription related to the quantity of the churna. Okay, why don't you accept the alteration which is there related to kala? Matra is changed. Why there is no acceptance in the acceptance of kala?
Matra is changed because of the bala of the roga atura has been reduced like from yuga to yuga. But kala is, you cannot, it is nitya, right? Kala is nitya. We cannot change that. So, kala is based on Tridosha Siddhanta mentioned in Ayurveda. So, Tridosha, it is a nitya Siddhanta. We cannot change it. So, hence, we cannot change Tridosha Siddhanta. We cannot change kala.
Like kala, if we consider the 24-hour cycle of a kala, the doshic distribution of the kala is necessary. So kala cannot be changed. Like it can be considered from person to person, patient to patient. Purusham viksha. Likewise, we can consider a kala, but matra has to be modulated as per the patient's bala.
As per the ball of the patient, when we modulate the matra, can also be modulate the kala as per the ball of the patient. As Niranna Kala is said for as by Ashtang Hridayam, Balino Balarogino. Bala of the patient and bala of the roga is both to be considered.
Purusham Viksha, this statement only relates to matra or either it relates to kala is the question.
In Sushruta Samhita, he quotes that for Balavan Purusha, we can go for Niranna Avastha. So, as an alternative module, he also says that if patient is Durbala, we can consume the same medicine in the Pragbhakta, that is just before the administration of medicine. So that modification is told in Sushruta Samhita. So we can follow that.
Exactly, we are asking that only. We need not stick to only to the kala. It can vary according to matra or bala of the roga and rogi.
Okay, next question. Next.
Which kala is mentioned in Atyayik Chikitsa?
It will be last question. Please repeat your question for Sthapna. Please repeat your question. I think they have not got completely.
Which kala is mentioned in Atyayik Chikitsa?
Which is the relevant kala in Atyayika Chikitsa?
In Charaka,
among the kala which are mentioned in the Aushadha Sevana kala of Charaka, Vagbhata. Am I correct?
You have asked the question about Atyayika Chikitsa. So in Charaka Samhita Vimanasthana, 8th chapter, I think it is 127 shloka, where he explains Rutu Anusara Chikitsa. At the end, he quotes one shloka with starts with Atyayike something. There he has mentioned that For any kala, we can do the chikitsa.
Okay.
Which proves Kali is flexible.
Like for which Atek Chikisa you are specifying?
Means Kala is flexible is the connected question.
Definitely. Like for example, if we are considering emergency condition, any sort of emergency condition, like for a patient coming with the asthma condition, we can consider a muhur as a kala, where you are giving the pump and inhalers for a repeated time period. There is no consideration for that purpose. So we can consider muhur kala.
But these four are not only
Questions. Okay. Time over for Vitandavadins. You should be very fast in asking the question, and you also be very fast in giving the answers to the questions. Now it is turn of Pratisthapana to ask the question against Sthapana. What are your jidnyasas or doubts against Sthapana? So please raise your questions and start to have the interactions. Over to Pratisthapana group. And in return, you will also get the question from Vitandavadis and Sthapana in the next round. Vitandavadis, you be ready. And Sthapana, you also note what other groups are saying. Simultaneously, you prepare for the answers. Pratishtha.
So when addressing chronopharmacology, you mentioned that excessive use of drug can be prevented. So the question is, when you're giving it with Sa-Anna or along with the food, how do you decide the dosage? What is the peak therapeutic concentration? What is the minimal toxic dose when you follow Sa-Anna? So how do you substantiate Anna Kala with respect to these pharmacokinetics?
Justification of Aushadha Sevana Kala in relation to pharmacokinetics is the question raised by Pratisthapana group.
The thing is that like matra what we are giving is which is decided in the like for example is churna is 1 kasha. We are not exceeding 1 kasha dose here. Only we are sticking like it should be less than 1 kasha based on the bala of a person to whom we are administrating. So it's not like a toxic to a patient.
No, but what is the peak therapeutic concentration of the drug you are giving? Like, do you have any articles to substantiate, like if you follow Matra Kala, this will be the concentration of the drug?
Can you hold the mic close?
Peak therapeutic concentration is the one where at a particular concentration when a drug will act or give a therapeutic effect. Okay, minimum toxic concentration is one wherein in the plasma level at that particular concentration it starts showing adverse effects. So how to understand our drugs in terms of these, because to convey to the modern society or to globalize Ayurveda, these are very important. We need to substantiate like that these are not having any adverse effect and these are the therapeutic concentration under which these can be used.
The dose in which we'll be administering the Sabhakta Kala is the normal therapeutic dose what we'll be administering other. It's not we are not giving in a higher dose.
Okay. Are you satisfied with the answer? No. Next question. Take next question.
In your explanation, you quote this Prag Bhakta. प्राग भक्त जो एक्सप्लेन किया गया है आचार्यों ने वो अपान काल के लिए एक्सप्लेन किया गया है बट वन ऑफ द फेमस जो प्रैक्टिस में एग्जांपल हम यूज़ करते हैं त्रिफला चूर्ण हम जो बिबंध के लिए यूज़ करते हैं फॉर कॉन्स्टिपेशन वी यूज्ड आफ्टर फूड सो व्हाट इज द जस्टिफिकेशन बिहाइंड दिस
So Triphala Churna's practice. Okay, he is questioning on the practice of the Triphala Churna, which is preferably given after the food, where it is contradicting to the concept of Avashada Sevana Kala. What is your opinion on that is the question.
Like we are practicing like after food. But the thing is that if you are giving the patient like before food and see the action, we might get a better action compared to giving it after food.
और इसके लिए मैंने बहुत सारे मीन्स फिजिशियंस से बात करी जिन्होंने प्रैक्टिस करी है उनका ये कहना है कि अपान वायु के लिए जो उन्होंने प्रैक्टिस करी है जो मूत्र विकार इसमें उन्होंने जो इफेक्ट आता है वो आफ्टर फूड ज़्यादा अच्छा इफेक्ट आता है मीन्स बिफोर फूड के मुकाबले प्रैक्टिस में ये देखा गया है
Okay, the better results are seen, the medicines being used after the food compared to the before food
There was a
in
clinical
relation to
trial.
Tripura Churna.
I would like to quote a clinical trial which was conducted in Janusandhigatavata, where
Can you be little louder? Okay.
okay, I would like to
All be
quote a
little louder.
clinical trial where clinical trial was conducted in Janusandhigatavata, where medicine was prescribed in Ado Bhakta and Prag Bhakta Kala. It was observed that clinically, statistically more significant result was seen in Ado Bhakta in the Prag Bhakta Kala. Janusandhigatavata being Apana Vyata Vikriti, there was more results seen in Prag Bhakta Kala. So it might be the same. If we conduct a clinical trial in Trifala Churna in Prag Bhakta and Ado Bhakta,
Yes,
we can
there is
see
a difference by sharing the experience of the physician and sharing the published article. They are telling about the published article. You are taking the opinions of physicians' experience.
त्रिफला चूर्ण सबसे ज़्यादा फेमस ड्रग है और लोकल लैंग्वेज मतलब लोकल पीपल को भी सबको पता है त्रिफला चूर्ण और सबको पता है कि अगर कॉन्स्टिपेशन है त्रिफला चूर्ण रात को लो कॉन्स्टिपेशन जाएगा सो इट्स अ प्रैक्टिस्ड known by
Okay, move to the next question. Next question. You are losing time. Put forth the fresh questions.
So about continuing this only, we are giving Airanda Taila or that Avipatti Churna during the night time for the motion for the tomorrow, next day. The patient gets motion and they are feeling very relieved. And other than this, so many other medicines given like Apana Vayu Vaigunya, one Kashaya given, one Churna given, one Vati given, that also Kashaya at the Prag Bhakta or Ananya whatever, then Gutika after the food, and Churna before Prathama Kavala Bhoja, like that given, that also showing results. So for one yoga, we are giving so many Aushadha Kala and still we are seeing results. So it means that it can be, change, we can change, we can alter these things also. So what will be the relevant?
Okay, even being handled with the alteration in the time of administration, but still the medicines are giving the same result, the expected result.
Like as we showed one of the article about the Kafajakasa, about while stating the Drishtanta, definitely the results will be observed. It's no doubt that the results will not observed or not, but the statistical variation of that result might vary. Like in some patient, the effect of that churna, or for example for vati or any of the formulation might be different statistically to another group. Likewise can happen. Changing in the kala can prove that the medicine is working, but the effect of that medicine might vary.
Okay, so patients needs that only,
Stop. We'll stop the asking question from Pratisthapana against Sthapana. Now time to ask the questions against the Pratisthapana. The first chance will go to Vitandavadins against Pratisthapana, and Sthapana will be ready to ask the question against Pratisthapana. So over to Vitandavadins. What are your doubts on the statements which is given by the Pratisthapana? How you say or how you question the Pratisthapana group on their stand?
So you all quoted that food drug interaction. Most of the people do munching due to Shuddha. Most of the people do munching because of Shuddha and all. But is it not the duty of the Vaidya to educate them regarding Dinacharya, Rutucharya and the Bhojan Kal?
The Aushadha Sevanakala is told by Ayurveda. So if that want to act or that want to affect means the other Siddhanta also have to follow. Without following that, it's like a building a house without basement. That's what we told. For that, we have to educate them.
But if it is considered, then how to practice in present clinical era?
That is only I told.
So we have to focus on Siddhantas rather than what is going on in present scenario. Scenario cannot overpower Siddhanta. Siddhanta can overpower scenario.
Yeah, but now the Kala is overpowering everything. So the change is overpowering everything. So if we want to practice it, we want to focus on full on Siddhanta. That only we are saying.
No, so that means Kala is relevant in present practice.
No, it is not relevant because we are not following Siddhanta as it is. We are altering the Siddhantas.
Siddhant cannot be altered as it
Yeah,
needs
but
to be
that
followed.
is what happening now. where you
Can you
told,
please explain how it is?
yeah, if you are diagnosing one rogi, if you are treating one rogi, you have to diagnose it. When you are diagnosing, if for example, if you are one person is coming with back pain, so what will be your diagnosis? They are showing MRI, they are showing X-ray. There, by that only we are saying that this is IVDP or something, and we are giving Kadivasti and everything. But if you ask them deeply, the same back pain is told in Gulma, Pandu, Arshas. So what will be your diagnosis? What will be your medicine? So if that MRI or that X-ray changes everything, then medicine also changes. So the result also changes. So that is what I want to explain.
But as considering Dasavidha Pariksha Kala,
there
you have to also consider Pariksha Kala.
Yeah.
As X-ray, MRI, whatever you mentioned, they are only assisting the diagnosis. They are not, they are assistants for diagnosis, which
Still-
varies according to your clinical diagnosis. So clinical diagnosis, which starts from Desha Kala, etc.
Yeah, but
So we need
nobody
to
is
focus
asking
on it.
that Desha Kala, or nobody is assessing the dusha and everything. Like I'm talking general, not specifically. I'm talking generally.
But Ayurveda depends on it only. Dosha Dusha Siddhanta.
Yeah,
That
Ayurveda
is
depends
altered.
on dosha dusha siddhanta. Ayurveda is not dependent on MRI and X-ray. That is what I want to say.
If it is dependent on Dosha Dusha Siddhanta, it should depend on Kala.
If we are depending on that, we might have showed so much good result.
The dignitaries which we heard earlier show same results.
Sorry,
The dignitaries which we heard earlier showed the same results.
Okay.
So the Kala is relevant.
Next question. Next question. So there is no Shastra Sahita Tarka in sadhana. So the base is not correct. So the change only in the Aushadha Sevanakala is not relevant, is their stand, what I guess. So next question, Vitandavadis.
Sir, you said history taking is time consuming. So if history taking is not taken properly, how will you decide the time?
You were telling about the hurdles in
Yeah.
taking the detailed history. If you don't give the enough time to take the detailed history as per Ayurveda instructions, then how the adoption of Aushadha Kala is possible?
That only I am saying. We are not taking so much history. So we are not diagnosing correctly. So everything changes.
Again, same point.
Same point. That only I am saying. Same point.
We are not diagnosing properly. It's human error. It
Yeah,
cannot
it's
alter
human
Siddhanta.
error. We are all humans now.
But the persons who we may be humans, but we are learning specifically to minimize our errors. Satatadhyanam vadaha paratantravalokanam.
We need not always focus on dosha dusha because I would like to quote a quotation. Na doshanam na dushanam na pusam cha parikshanam na deshasya na kalasya karyam rasa chikitsite. So there is a scope for using rasa aushadhis without considering the dushas or even the kala, provided you are giving it in the mentioned dose per day.
As per the tradition goes in Ayurveda, the month of Bruhatrais is considered first. If any opinion which is contraindicating the month of Bruhatrais, it is not considered in Ayurveda, as I believe this.
That depends on the Shastra. Now the Rasa Chikitsaka, they call the person who uses Panchakarma as Adama. Like, is it true? Like, it's obviously one Shastra will always say they are on top, but it is for us to decide what we need to adopt, where, and then go about. At the end, we just need the therapeutic benefit.
As per my belief or our belief, Rasa Shastra is branch of Ayurveda. So the basic principles on which Ayurveda is based needs to be followed by all its branches. So the shlok which you are quoted is to mention its mahati. As per Tantra Yukti, some what do you say? Some principles are there or some quotes are there which are only to mention its glory. Maybe it may be of that pattern. As Bruhatrai never indicates this anyway. In Bruhatrai, there are also reference of Rasaushadhis like Ayaskriti, etc. There they never mention this shloka or any such shloka. They start with Kale Satmyam Suchihitam. Everywhere Kala is mentioned.
So, okay, time over for Vitandavadins again, Pratisthapana. Now, Sthapana will have their doubts, their jidnyasas in the second round. Now, over to Sthapana to ask the questions against the Pratisthapana. Pratisthapana will answer the questions. Over to Sthapana.
You stated that bala of rogi and like avastha of dosha in a person and jinalinga of aushadha, we are not able to assess while taking the history, that we are not having that much of time. If you are not giving a proper time to the patient, how can you treat it properly?
In many of the clinical practices of many successful practitioners, we have seen almost 40 to 50 patients per day. And I think as a man or as a human being, it is next to impossible to invest almost 30 minutes to take a very detailed history for each of the patient.
Then like patient will come in the mindset of that this doctor is good, he'll take proper history and he'll treat me properly. Then if you are doing that, are you giving justification to the patient?
Proper history doesn't mean we are taking any incomplete history. We are just trying to minimize the time and take a much relevant history which is related to his disease condition. We are not trying to assess his entire dosha dusha avastha. We are not sitting and doing that prakriti evaluation, keeping the questionnaires, etc. We have, as per the our knowledge or our exposure, we have a fixed set of protocol in each of our minds. Like if it is a skin related issue, we have a certain protocol to be asked to each of the patient depending on his condition. So we do justice to the patient by asking the relevant questions and taking a much shorter and a briefer history rather than going for his entire dosha dusha evaluation or anything as such.
Then don't you are thinking that like assessing bala of roga and avastha of dosha and asking jinalinga is not important.
No, that's not what we are saying. See, I want to tell one story. It's happened in Kerala. Sorry for the time.
Time.
No, no, it is not time to tell story because
No, sir, it's a
they
short-
need to finish their
short story.
questions within the time limit we have given, 5 minutes. You
Okay.
can tell the story later.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So,
Sir, without say shall. Okay, we should not.
Without telling
perform-
that story, you narrate.
okay, sir. Next question.
Okay, for the next question, like my friend has told that this Pida Marana is anyhow possible if the Tikshna Aushadhis are given in a Durbala patient. Like I would like to correct you, my friend, that Sushruta has contraindicated this in a Prag Bhakta case in a Durbala Rogi. So we do not give Tikshna Aushadhis in a Durbala Rogi in Prag Bhakta Avastha.
That's exactly my point. See, in
So that's
you're
what I'm saying.
modifying-
It is
you're
not
modifying.
given at all.
If there is Balina Vyakti, you're giving Anana or Prag Bhakta. But where there is Durbala Avastha, you're not giving it.
Yeah.
So is there a scope for modification?
Yeah, definitely. It is a modification.
Like where are you sticking on to the rule?
The Shastra itself is justifying that it should not be given. So like contraindication.
No.
it is.
In this round, the Sthapana is answering for the question. You should, in fact, you should ask the question to Pratisthapana first. Okay. So clarify this doubt. You ask the question to them. Instead, they are asking you the question.
You have quoted that, next question, you have quoted that these Aushadha Sevana Kalas are impractical to in the present day. So you think the BD-TID doses are practical? Like, are they, you have told those Aushadha Sevana Kalas are impractical in the present day. They're not relevant. So are you saying that BD-TID doses are practical?
Okay, what is your opinion? What the present practitioners are doing? BD, TID, QID, HS, etc.
You'll get the answer if you look into the prescriptions at your hospitals, whether BD, OD is written or Samudga, Bhakta, Ananna, these are written. Whether it is practical or not, at least as much as we have seen, BD, OD, TID is followed.
No, question is to you. You should answer the question. You should not ask the question again, return to them.
So that is answer itself.
The question is,
practically what we are following is BD, OD.
no, question is whether the practice of BD, TID is there in your present practice is a question.
That's what I'm saying, sir. If we screen the prescriptions of any hospital in present era of all the Ayurveda colleges, what is practical will come to know.
Okay.
And that is
what we are asking.
Because it is being practiced, it is relevant. If it was not relevant, nobody used
I
to.
have one more question. The BD-TID doses are designed for the modern molecules based on their half-life. How can you substantiate the Ayurvedic formulations through the BD-TID doses?
Yes, there has been.
Because our Aushadha Sevana Kalas are based on the Tridosha Siddhanta. How can you substantiate the Ayurvedic formulations through BD-TID doses? Because
That's what we are saying. We are following BD, QID, TID, everything. That is not based on Tridosha Siddhanta. If you want to practice Ausha Sevanakala based on the Tridosha Siddhanta, you have to follow every Siddhanta. That is what our stand. Not getting the point?
so you are telling we
now-
have to follow the Aushadha
we
Sevana
have
Kala.
to follow the Ausha Sevanakala if we are following other Siddhanta. Now we are not following other Siddhanta, so it is not relevant. That is our point. We are not saying it was not relevant, it will not relevant. Now it is not relevant. That is our stand.
Which means you're subtly agreeing that Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant.
If you follow
No,
other
without having the basic concepts of pariksha, prakriti, vikriti, sara, savanana, sattva, satmya, etc. Dashavida pariksha, trivida pariksha.
That's what,
Chaturvida
like
pariksha,
Ashtavida
etc.
Pariksha, Dashavida Pariksha, what we are doing then in Ayurvedic hospitals? I mean,
that only I was saying.
Not only your hospital you are telling, or other states
Sir,
or other
I am
regions
generalizing.
hospital
Sir,
you
I
are.
told first itself we are
Okay.
generalizing, not specific.
Okay, please generalize it. Don't stick to. Don't take anybody's name here. Okay. Done.
So just one thing. The question is
Time
about
time
relevance.
is over.
You're talking about applicability. So we are not saying it is not applicable, but in present it is not relevant.
Okay, now the answers from the Uttara, etc., are given by the Pratisthapana group to the Sthapana and Vitandavadin's Jidnyasa. Now it's a time to have the questions on Vitandavadi's opinion. Sthapana, do you have any doubts on Vitandavadi's role or any questions?
okay.
Pratisthapana.
Yeah. Like, we would really like to know what is your stand on this topic.
Still, they are confused. Other groups are confused. Your stand is not clear.
Your like double dholki stand is performed by yourself. Please clarify your stand on this topic so that.
What is your role? You frankly tell.
वितंडा नाम परपक्षे दोषवचन मात्र एव. That is only what is quoted.
So they are not here to give any statements to prove in front of you. You need to prove being Sthapana and Pratisthapana. So they are contradicting your statement as per your first round as well as the justification round. So the second question from Pratisthapana. Do you have any? Yeah.
In the first round, you stated that kim kartavyam, kim akartavyam mohita. So can you substantiate on that? Like at what point are you feeling moha?
Samshaya. Samshaya.
This shlok is quoted from Bhagavad Gita, which means kim kartavyam, kim akartavyam. What is to be done and what is not to be done. As many of you said, keep about present scenario. There is also a saying, ayam tu yuga dharmo hi vartate kasya dushanam. This is the dharma of this yuga. But it doesn't mean that we should refrain or we should tyaj all the siddhantas of Ayurveda. Whatever assisting diagnostic tools are there, we can consider, but on our Shastra Maryada. Without our Shastra Maryada, how can we consider others? We should consider or stick to our Shastra first as much as possible. Following Dinacharya doesn't mean always Brahme Murte Uttishte. But rather getting up than 9 or 10, you can at least at best 7 p.m. 7 a.m. It is also can be considered akaranat mandakaranam shreyam. This is said when there is a dilemma while following any shastra. Rather than refraining or making tyaj everything, you should at least follow what is possible. We cannot follow what is possible. It is our fault. We cannot say that if we doesn't follow, we are not able to follow this, we will not follow anything. This also cannot be done. So Samshay is here. We should focus on our Shastra first. Therefore, it is said by Sushrut, Shastram Guru Mukhot Giranam Adaya. Rather than seeing practices where Trifala Churna can be given after food, we have seen it. But is it our Guru Parampara? Or it is from it has any base of Shastra? Shastra, as there is a saying in Dhaneshwari, which is a tika on Bhagavad Gita in Marathi. It says, Shastra Sangete Truna Manave, Shastra Sangete Rajya hi Ghave. Means, whatever Shastra says is supreme. You should consider the Siddhanta of Shastra. Ayurveda, while considering, he says Matra Kala Shraya Yukti, and also he says Tishtanti Upari Yuktidnyaha. Yuktidnya is on the supreme post. Wherever you consider, the Vaidya is given a supreme post. We consider ourselves as human, but it is not what the principle of Ayurveda. He says Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. When you attain the Vaidya Shabda, you need to be perfect as God. That what patients accept from you. So our principle, we need to evaluate ourselves.
I think Vitandavadins met Guru and came for this Vitandavada. So justification is in detail. So we take the opportunity to have the question from Pratishtapana. I think Pratishtapana don't have any.
One confusion. You say Shastra is the supreme.
Yes.
And simultaneously you quote कि Brahma Muhurat is not necessary for all. You can
Hold the mic close to you. Please.
You can wake up at 7. How this is
said so.
You said na?
I never said
If
so.
not possible, if you are swastha.
Oh, there is a contradicting statement in your opinion. You tell about Shastra, Sahita, Tarka, Brahma Muhurta, etc.
And Brahma Muhurta is
And
14th Muhurta of
late getting up is also accepted.
It is also said when it is almost impossible. It is also said from Shastra only. Akaranat manda karanam shreyam. Then sarvatha getting up at 10, 11, 12. It is better to get up at 7.
Then
This is from
everyone has
the-
excuse. It's not possible for me.
It is not for everyone.
Then I can give excuse. It's not possible for me. I can wake up at 9.
It should be decided by Vaidya, not by the Rogi. Vaidya should decide whether he is eligible or not for the.
Okay, and the Vaidya will decide when he meets, the patient meets Vaidya. Otherwise, he sleeps till 10 or 12.
So there is a Vaidya Raja Rajagraha Sanne Pranachariyam Niveshi.
Yes. Now we'll stop the Jidnyasa around here. Now the Sabhaya Krate Avasaraha, that is audience queries and discussions. So any audience have doubts on the Sapanas, Pratishtapanas and Vitandavadin's role? Anybody? Any doubts? I think every doubts are cleared through Sthapana and Pratishtapana, even Vitandavadins. I guess no doubts in the audience gallery. So now we'll move on to the next round. So now the Vishaya Visheshajna Dwara Vishleshana. So I would like to invite the expert of today's session, Dr. Prakash Hegde sir, for his remarks on the today's debaters' debate. Over to you, sir.
सभाध्यक्षः सभाभ्यो नमस्कारः। अद्यतनदिने वयं सर्वे संस्कृतदिनस्य कार्यक्रमे संवादकार्यक्रमे वयं सर्वे I'm not so perfect in telling, but I'm trying. Okay, वयं सर्वे सम्मिलितवान् स्मः। अतः अहं 5-6 वाक्यं संस्कृते उक्तुम् इच्छामि। संस्कृतभाषा बहु सुन्दरभाषा, प्राचीनभाषा अस्ति। आयुर्वेदस्य बहुमूल्यग्रन्थाः, बहुमुख्यग्रन्थाः चरकसंहिता, सुश्रुतसंहिता, अष्टाङ्गहृदय, सर्वसंहिताः संस्कृते सन्ति। अतः संस्कृतभाषाज्ञानं बहु आवश्यकम् अस्ति। Coming on to the topic proper today, the topic for discussion or debate was, is Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant in present clinical practice? As per my opinion, all the three teams, they were to the point, but they were not to the point also, because I have reasons to say. You don't consider me as Vitandavadi here, right? Okay. But my opinion here is, Aushadha Sevana Kala, that as we consider it as time of administration. Here, the title which is given is Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant in present clinical practice. That is the title. They have not asked you whether classically told method is relevant or not. In this way also we can discuss. So when we consider here, there was some discussion like BID or QID, TID, anything, but that is the time of administration. So that point proves that time of administration is relevant to the present day clinical practice too. Whatever may be the medicine which is being prescribed by Ayurveda Vedyas, maybe Kashaya or anything, but it is given as twice in a day or thrice in a day. That is the what dose or time of the administration they will advise. Here, few points I would like to make is, there were examples of Vibandha. Constipation as given as an example. Of course, it is practiced like 2 HS like that, hours of sleep. That time it is commonly advised. But that doesn't mean, as somebody I have questioned or answered, I think, that doesn't mean that it should not be tried before giving, before having food. It's not like that. So here again, a very important thing here is how far we have come ahead from previous or yesterday years, where there were only 2 Annakalas. So based on that, our acharyas have given all the list. So number of Aushadha Sevana Kalas, okay, that is not debatable here. Like somebody has told, like Charaka Sushruta told 10, Bhagavata told 11, Sharangadhara Samhita mentioned 5, but it includes, like there are timings in it. So it becomes around 10 only. So that is not an issue. But here, developing the protocol based on the concepts of Ayurveda, that somebody said Siddhanta, is very important for us. So we should not deviate as much as possible. And there were one more point which was raised here is, like there were no much time to ask the questions or take the information from the patients. I think that is not right to say, because it's our duty to take all the relevant and complete history. Then only we can get the some picture, so that we can decide what medicine, what dose it has to be given, how many days and all. So that is very important. And another thing is, like for the first time a patient comes, you'll not be knowing much about him. So you need to spend. Maybe if he comes for follow-up, you can reduce your time because you know his prakriti and everything. So then there is a possibility that, okay, you can reduce the duration of interaction or interrogation. So this is being done by the all experts who sees 40, 50 patients. That doesn't mean that they are not knowing about the patient. They may be the follow-up patients, so that they know previously. the things, right? That is the thing. So here, a very important thing is we should not deviate from the principles of Ayurveda. That is concept of Ayurveda. And based on that, we have to develop. That is one important thing we need to remember. One of the themes quoted is human error. I was quite surprised with that because being a doctor or Vaidya, we take care of the patients. We are not supposed to commit any human errors, right? So errors are not allowed in clinical practice. Maybe by mistake, there maybe some errors may happen, but it doesn't mean that we are supposed to or we are allowed to commit errors again and again because we are humans. No, it's not like that. So we are not supposed to commit any human error, but ultimate aim is to give the best possible result for the rogi or the patient. That is very, very important thing we need to keep in our mind. And it is not like simply by taking some examples, they have given all the details. Our acharyas, they were so perfect in giving all the siddhantas that why they have given all those, like for example, samudga in hika, muhur in shwasa kasa, all those things, apanavata, vikrati, pragbhakta or adhobhakta, like that. So that is based on the results what they have found. It is not like that just they have written something and they have like circulated things. It is not like that. It is all time tested. So based on their experience, they have written it. So that is becoming like it is a torch for all of us who is practicing based on Ayurveda. What are the things which are laid down by our ancestors or scholars of Ayurveda. So it's not like that as and how we cannot change the concept. Maybe to little concept we can change the, even we are not agreeing for it, modification of certain yogas you have mentioned, that is also not allowed so much because very process or samskara, it brings the qualities in the formulations. So actually that is the thing. Because of some time constraint, because we may not be able to prepare the formulation in time, such things might have been done. And that doesn't mean that we are always permitted to do all the mistakes, deviating from the concepts and all. That is not the thing. These are the things which I would like to tell. And I would like to tell about the debate, how it went. That is also one of the role which is given to me, right? So here I should appreciate all the three teams. They prepared well and they came to this SAMVADA-6 debate with all good preparation. But one small thing which was lacking there, they were not loud enough in communicating or giving all the details, so that even though you know the things, it was appearing that you were not confident in what proving yourself, whatever the point which you were telling is having all authentic background. So that was the small what observation I made. Otherwise, all teams, they have debated very well, and like the person from like Stapana, they were like a little bit loud. Not all, one or two, I'm not pointing out. So in presenting their things, that is the way which we expect always. It is not like, because all of us, even though we are fighting here, which is right, which is wrong, at the end we all sticking to the Ayurvedic principle and we are practicing, right? It is for the sake of exchanging the information and exchanging the knowledge. For that purpose, we have done it. But at the end, we all are together and we are practicing only Ayurveda by sticking as much as possible to principles of Ayurveda. That's what we are doing here. And coming on to the Pratisthapana team, because Sthapana team, the title for them was very easy actually, because stating the principle which was given, we always consider, that is following Ayurvedic principles, Vaishnajakala, which is told is relevant or not. Correct, because it is quite simple. But the role of Pratisthapana was little bit difficult actually, because they have to search so many things to say, because of that reason they might not have been able to fight with all Josh, maybe. That may be the reason, but your role was very difficult, because at the end we all know that what is correct, right? So that is the thing. And another team Vitandavada, they've done their duty properly, and good examples they have given. Nice way of putting other teams in trouble. So you have done your duty properly. That was good. And I would like to thank the organizers for arranging such a wonderful program, SAMVADA-6. So I was watching all the previous Samvadas also, like how it went and all. It was so nice. The relevant topics were chosen for discussion always, and the different kind of feast for the brain here, because it's not easy. We may go through so many references and all. While going through, it becomes so easy for us. But when we are sitting here and arguing with others with all reference, it needs some preparation, some stuff and all. So all these participants, they prepared very well, and the stage is set by all the organizers for this event. And I would like to thank Dr. Savita Madam, Dr. Prabhakar, and Dr. Prashant sir, and mentors of the teams. You have prepared your team very well, and all the senior faculty members of KLE Ayurveda College, Belgaum, all the students, and above all, I would like to appreciate and thank Dr. Suhas Kumar Shetty, principal of KLE Ayurveda Medical College, for arranging such a unique program where the things, even though it is right or wrong, we need to prepare. Such chances given to all the participants here, and hope all the audience, they might have got some good information, and they may be gearing up for the next events. So expect you to be here in some of the events, in future events. Wishing you all the best. Keep rocking, and keep continuing arranging all these events. I am assuring you that whatever may be the samvada which is being done, when it is shared in YouTube or any media, I'll watch minimum 5 times, because that much information we are going to get from these kind of events. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you. Sorry, I might have done some mistakes in the beginning while trying to talk in Sanskrit, because Sanskrit experts are there. I'll definitely correct myself in future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your expertise opinion on the debaters' debate, and also enlightening us on Aushadha Sevana Kala topic. So I will give the pause for my moderation here. I will hand over mic to Dr. Prashant Gaonkar, sir, a Sanskrit expert, for the continuation of the program. Over to Dr. Prashant, sir.
अद्य वयं संस्कृतदिने आयुर्वेदक्षेत्रे संवादकार्यक्रमम् आयोजितवन्तः। तदर्थम् अस्माभिः प्राप्ताः विषयविशेषज्ञाः आयुर्वेदज्ञाः एवं संस्कृतभाषिणः इति अस्माकं सौभाग्यमेव। अतः तेभ्यः सर्वेषां पक्षतः धन्यवादं समर्पयामि। अबद्धं वा सुबद्धं वा संस्कृतध्वनिः एव तेषां वृद्धिं करोति इत्यतः अबद्धं वा सुबद्धं वा संस्कृतध्वनिः एव श्रोतुं सुन्दरा अस्ति इति। सम्प्रति स्थापना एवं वितण्डवादिसदस्याः अन्यविद्यालयतः अत्र समागताः। तान् अत्र सम्प्रेष्य संवादस्य शोभां वर्धितवन्तः तत्रत्य प्राचार्याः, तदर्थं प्राचार्यान् वयम् इदानीं शृण्मः। तद् आदौ आಳ್वास् आयुर्वेदमहाविद्यालयतः तत्रत्य प्राचार्याः डाक्टर् सजित् एम् महोदयाः अस्माभिः सह अन्तर्जालमाध्यमेन सम्मिलिताः सन्ति। तान् अहं प्रार्थयामि स्व वाग्भिः अत्र संवादकार्यक्रमे स्ववाक्यान् उपस्थापयन्तु इति। डाक्टर् सजित् एम् महोदयः।
Good evening to all. Respected Dr. Suhas Kumar Shetty, Dr. Prakash Agde, Anura Madam. Last week also we had NCM Nipah together, Anura Madam. Now she is here with us today also. So actually congratulate all the organizers and the participant mainly. Tapana, Pratishtapana and Vitanda. You all did a very decent fight. Usually fighting will not be very decent, but in this regard, this debate was so beautiful. Actually, all the points which is one second. The points and these things actually the Aushadha Kala is very much relevant as per my opinion, and I think there are Vitanda and Pradishtapana also denying and this thing. But if you know the time to give medicine according to the Kosta, according to the Vyati Bala, Roga Bala, Rogi Bala, all these things, definitely it will have a beautiful effect on the Rogi. And also the Jain Pujari sir also said that, and the professor also said that, knowing the system, knowing Ayurveda system well, that it will be helping us to treat a patient in a proper way. So always we need not depend on the modern parameters. Even in research, we are taking all the modern parameters, but at least in treatment, we could stick on to our own parameters and have wonderful results in treating a patient, because treating or getting rid of a pain or the disease condition is the ultimate aim of any medical system. Whatever the background scenes, whatever the theories behind it, but ultimately a person or patient should get rid of the disease, whichever the stream is. So considering all these things, KLE has arranged a beautiful debate, and the students of KLE and Gomantak, they also participated very well. And for our students, it's a good opportunity. And I think this is the first combined activity with KLE and Alvas after signing the MOU. This is the first activity we have done properly, and I congratulate KLE and the Gomantak colleges for participating and organizing such a beautiful event. All the best. Thank you.
प्राचार्येभ्यः डाक्टर् सजित् एम् महोदयेभ्यः धन्यवादाः। सम्प्रति गोमन्तक आयुर्वेद महाविद्यालयस्य प्राचार्यान् डाक्टर् अनुरा पी भलेवर्यान् प्रार्थयामि संवादकार्यक्रमेऽस्मिन् स्ववाक्यान् उपस्थापयन्तु इति। डाक्टर् अनुरा पी भले महोदय।
Good evening to all. Program. I also congratulate the participants. Maybe winners or losers, but participation is important, and that too for upbringing of Ayurveda. Actually, it is said that to obtain knowledge, there are three methods: Adhyayan, as we know, Adhyapana, and Tadvidya Sambhasha, in which Tadvidya Sambhasha is a debate or discussion which is in modern era may be called symposium. As it is said in the text, Vishak Vishatsa Sambhashate means one physician discusses a problem with another physician to solve the problem and clear the doubt. That is Tadvidya Sambhasha. Actually, as time changed from Pathshala Guru Shishya Parampara to a large symposium with use of high level writing, pictures, models, PPT, etc. So this is as the concept in Charaka also has that knowledge of the subject is not enough only in one text. One should collect the knowledge from different texts of the same subject, maybe by profound discussion, interpretation, and so on. So this is the need of the hour. And today's topic, which was chosen, was very much important as Aushadhi Sevan Kala have described very nicely in the text. It has been very much elaborated that when we want to increase the memory, intelligence in a person, we give a medicine in a prana kala, which gives very good results. Similarly, wants to increase the appetite, that is Deepan Pachan medicines to be given, we give them in Vyanodan Samanakala. Samanakala. So in this way, the kalas have been explained in various disorders, and they have to be followed to get good results, good effects in a patient. So this way, the topic was very important. So I should congratulate the participants and also their mentors from our college, Dr. Anuradha Mudliar, who guided them very well. I should congratulate Alva College, team of Alva who have participated, Kaylee, and our students too. As Dr. Sajid has said, we have met in NIPA training, and nice to see you here today on the online mode, Dr. Sajid sir. Very happy. So I thank the organizers for giving the opportunity for our students to participate in the program, and thank you once again.
प्राचार्याभ्यः डाक्टर् अनुरा पीभले महोदयाभ्यः अस्माकं पक्षतः धन्यवादाः। सम्प्रति स्थापना प्रतिष्ठापना एवं वितण्डवादी सदस्यानां कृते ये मार्गदर्शनं कृतवन्तः तेषां वाक्यानि सम्प्रति शृणुमः। तत्रादौ स्थापना सदस्यानां मार्गदर्शकाः आसन् आಳ್वास् आयुर्वेदमहाविद्यालयतः डाक्टर् रविप्रसाद हेगडे महोदयाः। तान् अहं प्रार्थयामि स्वाभिप्रायं प्रकटयन्तु इति।
Good afternoon, all. Though this is Charakokta Vada Marga, I would like to quote a word from Acharya Dallana, who has given commentary over Buddhimedakara Gana of Acharya Sushruta. So while explaining the Buddhimedakara Gana, Sushtacharya said, Satata Adhyayana Vadaha Paratantrava Lokanam Tadvidya Achara Seva Hi Buddhimedakara Ganaha. So commentary over Vada by Dallanacharya, he says Swapaksha Sadhana and Parapaksha Badhana. So this we could see in this today's debate, Swapaksha Sadhana and Parapaksha Badhana by all the three teams. I congratulate all the three teams for the hard work. And also I congratulate wholeheartedly the organizing committee, starting with my guide, Principal Dr. Sajid, Dr. Suhas Kumar Shetty. And I thank the HOD of the basic principal, Dr. Savita Madam, who was motivating us since the beginning. So when they planned to organize this SAMVADA-6 by including Alvas Ayurveda Medical College, she is in completely, every day she is in touch with me and guiding us how to participate, what all are the rules and regulations, everything. And also I thank other department teaching faculties, Prabhakar sir, Praveen sir, they are taking care of us since morning. So everything was very nice. Thanks to giving opportunity to Alvas Ayurveda Medical College. Thank you once again. Thank you one and all.
डाक्टर् रविप्रसाद हेगडेवर्येभ्यः धन्यवादाः। सम्प्रति वितण्डवादिसदस्यानां मार्गदर्शकाः आसन् डाक्टर् अनुराधा मुदलियार् महोदयाः। ताः अहं प्रार्थयामि स्ववाक्यान् उपस्थापयन्तु इति।
A very good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Anuradha Mudliar, mentor of Vitandavad Group. On behalf of Gomantak Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya Goa, would like to thank KLE Shri BMK Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya Belgavi and also Principal Dr. Suhas Kumar Reddy sir for choosing our institute as a part of this debate competition and inviting us to participate for such a great event. Thank you. I would like to congratulate all the three teams for a successful interaction in terms of the scientific debate or sambhasha. It's a really very wonderful to be here and have a very great experience. All the three teams, the topic whatever was given, has successfully discussed or established and have put in a very nice manner. It was really thought-provoking process. So about today's topic, Aushad Sevankal, not as a matter of Vitandavad, but I believe Aushad Sevankal is an important principle to be considered in a contemporary era while treating a disease. So safety and efficacy of the medicine is primarily dependent on the time of administration of medicine. So success of therapeutic action of medicine is greatly decided by the time of administration of the medicine. So all the practitioners should follow Aushad Sevankal in their clinical practice. So, thus, once again, I congratulate all the teams for successful interaction and also thanks to organizers for this debate competition and special thanks to Dr. Savita ma'am for her time to time help and time to time communication. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
डाक्टर् अनुराधावर्याभ्यः धन्यवादाः। सम्प्रति प्रतिष्ठापनासदस्यानां मार्गदर्शकाः डाक्टर् प्रवीण् एन् भेडी महोदयः।
A very good evening to one and all. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. First of all, I would like to thank all the respective college principals of Alwas and Gomantaka Ayurveda Goa College and our college principal Dr. Suhas Kumar Shetty sir. It's an immense pleasure to me to deliver an opinion on this topic. Is Aushadha Sevana Kala is relevant in the current clinical practice? So already Sir Prabhakar sir already talked on the topic, today's expert. So two mentors of the respective college already talked about the opinion about related topic and all. Just I will brief about today's topic and which could be done better and which could be discuss more on this topic. Just only I will highlight on the topics. It is not related with any of the one particular team. It will be related with all the particular teams and all. So hopefully, first of all, I will congratulate all the three teams. You could done in the particular references and all the particular points and all. Once again, I would like to congratulate all the teams. A few points, just I would like to quote in related with this Samvada only. More you expect, more you will be unsatisfied. You should not be satisfied during the debate. So you should be debate one another, where, how, will, everything. So, okay, this is what the debate. So particularly you could have been done better in that Anubhuta yogas and all. I think nobody touched in that part also. So you could be asked any of the team members also, how it can be applicable for the Aushadha Sevana Kala and all. So next is about few members are discussed about the clinical aspects or clinical current practice and all. You could have been correlated with the clinical trials and difference between the clinical current practice and all. That will be also you can discuss. It will applicable for all the team members. And next is about few members are discussed about diagnosis and all. So in that particular topic is related with the current clinical practice and Aushadha Sevana Kala. But every procedure, Pura Karma is important. If diagnosis is correct, treatment will be very good. That is a link you could have been given to the topic also. Then some asked about the Dashavida Parikshas and all. You can ask the topic in related with why Trivida, why Ashtavida, why Dashavida. you can link with the Aushadha Sevana Kala. If you have done these points or these areas, it could be done better. It will be applicable for all. These, along with other than these points, you could have done better, and the upcoming also, we hope so, your support in the upcoming events also. And once again, I would like to congratulate all the participants of the event. And once again, I would like to thank all the particular senior faculties of the college and other those who are attended this event in the online mode also. Thank you one and all.
धन्यवादाः। अद्य विषयविशेषज्ञाः प्रकाश हेगडे महोदयः, मूडबिदिरितः प्रसाद हेगडे महोदयः, एवं कार्यक्रमनियन्त्रकाः प्रभाकर हेगडे महोदयः, अतः क्वचित् इतस्ततः भवति। सम्प्रति अद्य अस्माकं सौभाग्यतः विषयविशेषज्ञरूपेण अत्र उपस्थिताः आसन् डॉक्टर प्रकाश एल हेगडे महोदयाः। तेषां नाम एव प्रकाशः, तेषां ज्ञानस्य प्रकाशम् अस्माकम् उपरि प्रसारितवन्तः इति वयं धन्यधन्याः। सम्प्रति अस्माकं पक्षतः लघु उपायनं सम्माननम् अस्माकं प्राचार्यान् प्रार्थयामि अद्यतनविषयविशेषज्ञान् लघु उपायनेन सम्मानयन्तु इति। सम्प्रति उपान्तिमः कार्यक्रमः प्रमाणपत्रवितरणं। तत्रादौ स्थापना सदस्याः वादिरूपेण संवादकार्यक्रमेऽस्मिन् स्वभागं गृहीतवन्तः। तेभ्यः सदस्येभ्यः प्रमाणपत्रं वितरन्तु इति प्राचार्यान् सम्प्रार्थयामि। तेषां मार्गदर्शकाः डॉक्टर रविप्रसाद हेगडेवर्याः। तान् अहं प्रार्थयामि आगत्य प्रमाणपत्रं स्वीकुर्वन्तु इति। प्रतिष्ठापना सदस्याः एतेषां मार्गदर्शकाः आसन् डॉक्टर प्रवीण एन भेडी वर्याः एवं डॉक्टर चैत्रा वर्याः। वितण्डवादी सदस्याः गोमन्तक आयुर्वेद महाविद्यालयतः। एतेषां मार्गदर्शकाः आसन् डॉक्टर अनुराधा मुदलियार महोदयाः। संवादकार्यक्रमस्य कार्यक्रमसंयोजकाः आसन् अस्माकं विभागस्य अध्यक्षाः डाक्टर् सविता पी पडशेट्टिवर्याः। एवं संवादकार्यक्रमस्य नियन्त्रकाः डाक्टर् प्रभाकर बी हेगडेवर्याः। प्रमाणपत्रं वितरितवद्भ्यः अस्माकं प्राचार्येभ्यः धन्यवादाः। सम्प्रति सभाध्यक्षवचनं शृण्मः। अहं प्राचार्यान् प्रार्थयामि सभाध्यक्षवचोभिः अस्मान् अनुगृह्णन्तु इति। कार्यक्रमस्य निरूपकः अहमेव आसम्। अहमेव प्रमाणपत्रं स्वीकरोमि।
समेभ्यः सर्व विश्व संस्कृत दिवसस्य शुभाशयः. Warm greetings to all of you from the KLE Academy of Higher Education and Research and KLE's Sri B.M. Kankanwadi Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Belgavi. We're very happy to host this program in association with National Commission of Indian System of Medicine, New Delhi, and Samskriti Promotion Foundation, New Delhi, as a part of the National Sanskrit Day Week celebration. And very happy to being coincided with the World Sanskrit Day today. Very happy to organize this particular program with more than 300 participants present physically here and more than 1,700 participants who have registered online. We're very happy to see the popularity of this particular program, which has been gaining toward every day. In fact, this particular program was the brainchild of our former principal and the President Board of Ayurveda, Dr. B.S. Prasad, who was very keen in bringing the innovation in teaching, learning, and evaluation. And as a part of that, there were many innovative programs under the maybe like it could be in the form of debates or it could be in the form of edutainment, it could be form of, and that's how probably there is been reforming in the curriculum in the present BMS. And we have a lot of non-lecture hours as compared to the lecture hours now. And such program or such events are definitely ignite cognitive discussions among the students. The whole idea of such programs is to see that we are able to ignite the interest in the students in knowing what Ayurveda has to offer in teaching, learning, research practices. So that's the whole idea of, and at the same time, it should not be a very orthodox way or a contemporary way of learning. There should be some way, some original context of learning in the Samhitas as something very unique, because starting from, so if you look into how the teaching happens, it was not, if you look at the chronological order of the Samhitas and it's how it has been told, it is not just they start with the basic principles and then come to practice. In fact, it was early clinical exposure was very much part of the Ayurvedic training. And that's how probably we also should try to imbibe the best traditional methods and see that we are able to inculcate all these methods to the present practice or teaching. And that is where probably we also had a very detailed discussion from the Department of Basic Principles. What should be the topic that we should ponder upon for this particular 6th version of SAMVADA-6? And that's what when we came out saying that I think this is definitely a good topic, which is definitely getting away from the practice. It should definitely come into practice. And though we have some good amount of evidences in the not only Ayurveda, but also the Western chronobiology, there is a lot of importance how you give the testimonials in terms of the time of administration. So that's the reason why this topic was chosen. And I really appreciate all the 3 colleges, both from Alva's Ayurvedic Medical College, the Gomantak Ayurvedic College, Shiroda, and our institution for actively participating in this particular event. We would like to thank the principals of all the other two institutions. The reason why we try to select some of the institution is how the institution is trying to come up with MOUs and how we are trying to collaborate. So these were the collaboration that we had in the last 6 months, and these were two teams which we had a new MOU being signed. So based on the collaboration, we try to also take up some activities. We also have there are a few other colleges which also have come forward to participate in the next episode of Samvada. We'll have a team from Nasik, the SMBT Ayurvedic College Nasik, and the Ayurvedic College Bhopal, which will be the participant for the next Samvada. So as the chairman of NCISM sir was mentioning that we should try to expand more. We are definitely trying to expand more. We'll try to reach Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh in the next episodes of SAMVADA-6, which probably will happen in the last week of October. So we always look forward for all your constant support and see that we always try to learn each other with this unique way of debates. I think regarding the guest speakers of today's program, we are very honored that this program was in conjunction with the National Commission of Indian Institute of Medicine. We're very thankful to Dr. Vaidya Jain Devpujari sir and Dr. B.S. Prasad sir, who has given all the possible support. And sir, in spite of busy schedule, joined us and has given the opening remarks for today's Samvada-6. We also were very happy to have the keynote address by Vaidya M. Prasad, one of the renowned practitioners at Thrissur, Kerala. Also, one of the very who learned this Ayurveda in the fundamental tradition of Ayurveda College, Coimbatore. So there was a legacy, I think, if you all might be knowing that since 1985, there were 9 batches of this traditional teaching of the Ayurvedic college, which was there. And the best of the practitioners, researchers, teachers have come out of this particular. And that is where there's really a rethink and relook into bringing this particular format back, the pre-Ayurvedic course and the Ayurvedic courses after 10th standard, with a 7 years course being introduced. I think this is where there'll be a difference in the teaching methods, learning methods, the practice, and how it has been being taught to the students. That's how probably at a trial basis, they're trying to come with one institution from one zone, from north, east, south, and west. One zone will be identified, one institution will be identified, and maybe they do it on a pilot basis for a few years. And based on the feedback and success, they're going to come out with this particular format. So we're looking forward for this particular format and how this is going to have the impact on the budding practitioners of this particular era. So that's what we are looking forward. And we've always been very happy to be guided by all the members, the president of Board of Ayurveda, especially Dr. B.S. Prasad, in all our endeavors has been supporting us. And we're very thankful to the entire team of NCISM. We're also very happy that we also have been associated with the Samskriti Foundation, Promotion Foundation. We're very happy to have Lakshmi Narasimha sir, who was part of this particular program. We are very thankful to the entire team for collaborating with us and making this program very, very viable. I think the Samskriti Promotion Foundation, if you come to this name, I think the first year students will be knowing all your elective courses were hosted by the Samskriti Promotion Foundation. So they were the platform providers. Among the 26, we were the course providers for 15, and they were the platform providers on behalf of NCISM. And that is how we have been collaborating. And we look forward for many such collaboration with many other premier institutions of national and international repute. We're very thankful to all the teams for active participations. And as rightly pointed out by the subject expert today, by Dr. Prakash, the debaters were many of Sattvic debaters. No, they were very cool and not very aggressive. And as a debater, we expect you to have all the trigunas in you. No, you should have. Sometimes you should be Sattvic, sometimes you should also be Rajasic, and sometimes you also be Tamasic to control your emotions. So there was predominantly a Sattvic way of debating was going on. We expect that it is not that it should have physical form of the Rajasic and Tamasic, but of course, say it all talks about the in-depth study or the knowledge that you have done in the subject. And See, very important is the way of presentation, how you present the topic. Sometimes people do not know much, but they present it very well. And sometimes it could be vice versa. So a lot of knowledge you are not able to express. So as students, we expect you to have a good balance between the knowledge and the presentation. And that's how this is the whole idea. Now, again, this has been restricted to post-graduation. We also are seriously looking at whether this same format can be extended for the undergraduation in the upcoming events. So this is what we are looking forward. Maybe in shortly, we also would like to extend this form of debate to the undergraduation also, so that more number of undergraduates also are coming forward for such formats in the upcoming events. And regarding the subject expert, Dr. Prakash L. Agde, who is a professor and head Department of Dravaguna at SDM College of Ayurveda, Hassan. And recently, Sir was nominated as the chairman of the Pharmacopoeia Committee of the Pharmacopoeia Commission of the Indian Medicine and of Homeopathy. He happens to be the youngest chairman ever in the history of the PCIMH. And it speaks about the contribution that Dr. Prakash has done. A very hardworking, dedicated, sincere persons. If you ask me, how do you know this? He was my undergraduate classmate. And he was very, very studious academically, very, very competent. He always had that competitive spirit, both in academics, sports, cultural, singing, dancing. He was a very all-rounder kind of a person in our class. And we're all very proud to have such an eminent personality at today's program. And I'm sure under his able guidance and under his able vision, this particular committee is definitely going to contribute significantly in the area of pharmacopoeia, and especially in the area of the drug development as well as in the area of Ayurvedic science itself. So we're very thankful to Dr. Prakash for accepting our invitation and being a part of this particular celebration. And we look forward for his constant support in, again, further elaboration of this particular tenure of this institution. So I really appreciate the Department of Basic Principles, Dr. Savita, Dr. Prabhakar, Prashant, Praveen, Chaitra, for taking so much of active participation, so much of interest. I think it was like their family program that they were trying to make it up. I really appreciate all of them, and I'm sure we look forward for your constant support. We are also very happy to organize many such programs, and shortly on 8th and 9th of September, we are hosting a national level symposium on the multidisciplinary approach on the antenatal care, where we have more than 15 experts from different aspects from Ayurveda, modern diet, nutrition, astrology, yoga, genetics, on how do we approach towards the antenatal care and how each one of them are important. So we look forward for your participation, and we're very happy that today you saw Dev Pujari sir online. He'll be present offline. He'll be physically present for the inauguration of this particular program. He also will be joined by Dr. B.S. Prasad, and we also will be having Dr. Sujata Kadam, the in-charge director and dean of All India Institute of Goa campus. We also will have Dr. Hemant Toshikane, who is the dean of Faculty of Ayurveda of Parul Institute of Ayurveda. And we will be very happy to honored to have our Honorable Vice Chancellor and Honorable Register be a part of this particular program. So we welcome you all, and we are looking forward for your active participation, all the events that have been conducted by this KLE family. So once again, on behalf of the KLE family, KLE University, and KLE Shri B.M. Kankanwadi Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, I thank you for being a part of this memorable event, SAMVADA-6. Thank you very much.
एतादृश संवादकार्यक्रमस्य साफल्ये न केवलम् अस्माकं कार्यं कारणं तत्र प्राचार्याणां सुहासकुमार शेट्टिवर्याणां मार्गदर्शनं प्रोत्साहः अपि कारणमस्ति इति वक्तुम् इच्छामि। सम्प्रति धन्यवादसमर्पणं। संवादकार्यक्रमे कार्यक्रमस्य मूलकारणीकर्ताः भवन्ति अस्माकं विद्यालयस्य प्रगतप्राचार्याः, सम्प्रति भारतीयचिकित्साप्रणाल्याः राष्ट्रीय आयोगे आयुर्वेदशाखायाः अध्यक्षाः डॉक्टर B.S. प्रसाद वर्याः, तेभ्यः सर्वेषां पक्षतः धन्यवादं समर्पयामि। अत्र अद्य संवादकार्यक्रमे उपक्रमकथनं कथित्वा आशीः उक्तवन्तः NCISM NCISM इत्यस्य अध्यक्षाः वैद्य जयन्तदेव पूजारी महोदयाः तेभ्यः अस्माकं सर्वेषां पक्षतः हार्दं धन्यवादाः। एवमेव औपचारिककथनं कथितवद्भ्यः सुनेत्री आयुर्वेदाश्रमस्य स्थापकाध्यक्षाः वैद्य एम् प्रसाद वर्याः तेभ्यः अपि सर्वेषां पक्षतः धन्यवादाः। एवं संवादकार्यक्रमस्य आयोजने नितरां सर्वदा सहकारः एवं प्रोत्साहं ददति अस्माकं विद्यालयस्य प्राचार्यः डॉक्टर सुहास कुमार शेट्टीवर्याः तेभ्यः अस्माकं पक्षतः हार्दं धन्यवादाः। एवमेव केल्ली संस्थायाः कुलपतिभ्यः कुलसचिवेभ्यः सर्वेषां पक्षतः धन्यवादाः। एवमेव अत्र स्थापना प्रतिष्ठापना वितण्डवादिसदस्यानां वादं प्रतिवादं श्रुत्वा तेभ्यः मार्गदर्शनम् एवं विषयस्य विश्लेषणं कृतवद्भ्यः विषयविशेषज्ञेभ्यः डॉक्टर प्रकाश एल हेगड़े वर्येभ्यः सर्वेषां पक्षतः हार्दं धन्यवादाः। एवं स्थापना सदस्यानां मार्गदर्शकाः डॉक्टर रविप्रसाद हेगड़े वर्याः एवं आಳ್वास आयुर्वेद महाविद्यालयस्य प्राचार्यः डॉक्टर साजिद एम वर्याः तेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः हार्दं धन्यवादाः। वितण्डवादी सदस्याः एवं तेषां मार्गदर्शकाः डॉक्टर अनुराधा मुदलियार एवं गोमन्तक आयुर्वेद विद्यालयस्य प्राचार्याः डॉक्टर अनुरा बलेवर्याः तेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः अस्माकं विद्यालयस्य पक्षतः धन्यवादाः। एवमेव प्रतिष्ठापना सदस्याः एवं तेषां मार्गदर्शकाः डॉक्टर प्रवीण एन भिरडी एवं डॉक्टर चैत्रावर्याः तेभ्यः अपि सर्वेषां पक्षतः हार्दं धन्यवादाः। एवं संवादकार्यक्रमस्य संयोजकाः अस्माकं विभागस्य अध्यक्षाः डॉक्टर सविता बी पडशेट्टीवर्याः तेभ्यः अपि सर्वेषां पक्षतः धन्यवादाः। कार्यक्रमस्य नियन्त्रकेभ्यः डॉक्टर प्रभाकर हेगडेवर्येभ्यः अपि सर्वेषां पक्षतः धन्यवादाः। एवं संवादकार्यक्रमे अत्र उपस्थाय एवं अन्तर्जालमाध्यमेन अपि उपस्थाय कार्यक्रमस्य शोभां वर्धितवन्तः नानाविभागप्राध्यापकाः एवं छात्राः अत्र उपस्थिताः तेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः अपि हार्दं धन्यवादाः। एवं अत्र अन्तर्जालमाध्यमेन प्रसारणं कर्तुं पुनः अत्र सभायाः सज्जीकरणे ध्वनिवर्धक छायाचित्रग्रहण इत्यादि कार्यक्रमे नितरां सहकुर्वन्ति अस्माकं विद्यालयस्य IT समूहः हरीश बडिगेर विवेक ईरण्ण अरुण एतेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः अपि अस्माकं पक्षतः हार्दं धन्यवादाः। पुनः अग्रिमसंवादकार्यक्रमे वयं सर्वेपि मिलित्वा सप्तमे संवादकार्यक्रमे मिलित्वा पुनः अस्य साफल्येपि नितरां कार्यं कुर्मः। सर्वेभ्यः शुभसायं। कार्यक्रमस्य अन्त्यं शान्तिमन्त्रेण भवतु इति इच्छामि। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः। भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः।